One community, 3 tiers, 44 teams, and nearly 200 matches played. It's all led to this. Welcome to the playoffs, where the pretenders get eliminated, no second chances are given, and only the strong will survive. We'll see dominant performances, we'll see rivals clash, and we'll see shocking upsets. Players and teams of all skill levels have practiced for months to get here, giving it everything they have, but at the end of the day, only one will achieve: tranquility.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment that we've all been waiting for. Everyone here at Tranquility for the entire season, all of the matches, all of the practice, all of the playtime, all of the streams. It's all come down to this. It's time for the Discord tier finals. It's Kalibur taking on Airstrike and bringing all the action at you. I am Dor, and I am joined by Bart. It's the match of the season. It's the one we've been wanting. Are you excited?
Oh, I have never been more excited, except for a few times when I have been more excited. But right now, I am at least as excited as those other times. This is going to be a one heck of a matchup. We have Cryptic Feed versus Bray, who also sometimes feeds. We have Monica versus Sheepy. We have a J-Vice versus Voidkit. These matchups are going to be insane today.
I mean, let's take a stroll down these rosters, starting off with Kalibur. His name spelled like mine, but backwards. That's pretty cool, but his main tank play is even cooler. It's Normac. Following him up, it's Pyro. Keep an eye out for this man. He's going to be all over your backline playing that off support. Bray, of course, his Orisa is that of legend. He had to carry Cryptic Force last season, but now he's got to face him down in the grand finals. El Baba Yaga, newcomer to this season, but ready to prove his mettle in the biggest match available. Manaka, the Ana that has become feared across the tier. J-Vice, of course, the old school Trank player that's been keeping it cool on the May as of late, running those brawl compositions, has been so important. Mini as well, up and coming. Hit scan of Discord tier is going to have to go toe to toe with Voidkit, which brings us over to Airstrike. Whether or not it's the Sigma or the Diva, this man's always hungry. It's Cactus, and of course, the one, the only Cryptic Force. He's going to actively try to feed his team, but hopefully all the way to a Discord tier final. Panda Games, of course, the man with a hero pool deeper than Drake lyrics, is backing him up. It's going to be Sheepy looking to go toe-to-toe with a Manaka. Is a man who never misses a dart. It's Sleepy Sheepy, and of course, your Discord tier all-star. It's Voidkit running down the hit scan, and Placebo backing him up on support, the one man capable of escorting Cryptic Force into battle.
Absolutely. And we've already said his name like 4 times. I'm excited to see Cryptic Force go up against Normac. I'm excited to see these tank lines. I think they're going to be just some fantastic lineups. I think we're going to see Cryptic Force pull out his traditional feeding Reinhardt. I think Normac and Bray might try some double shield out for us today. But I think we all know who we've kind of been looking forward to all season, huh? I think it's Void Kid on the DPS.
I mean, Void Kid's been popping off, and honestly, he's been putting a lot of weight on his team, right? If you're going to have a Reinhardt that aggressive, there's only so much time that you have to deal damage, and Void Kit has backed that up in spades, and when it comes to Airstrike, it is just live or die by the feed. Kalibur, however, has showed us some incredibly well-played both dive, bunker, and brawl, so I suspect their depth of roster is really going to come to play here.
Yeah, I think last night we saw a bit of that as well. We saw last night Second Chance versus Rebellion for the Transcendence Tier Grand Finals, and I think the main issue that Rebellion ran into is that they were too rigid. They weren't willing to try new compositions. They just wanted to run dive all night, and I think whichever one of these teams that lacks the flexibility is going to have to be carried by that kind of pop-off potential by their tanks and DPS, and I think flexibility and consistency is just going to win every time over that. So we're really going to have to see how well these teams match up against each other individually, but also how they match up as a team, how their coaching is played into this, and how exactly they're going to be able to adapt to what the enemy team is running, because so far that has been what's decided a lot of these finals.
Yeah, I think one thing as well to keep an eye out for is going to be the Orisa play, right? You have Bray locking up one side for Kalibur, and I haven't got to see too much of Cactus's Orisa, but this meta has really been defined by the double shield, whether it be Orisa Sigma or whether it be Orisa Reinhardt. Sometimes you're running the dive on maps like Gibraltar, on maps like Ilios well, but really being able to have a strong core main tank to kind of run that back with on the Orisa is going to be super duper key to taking tonight's match.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen a lot of Orisa this season, but a lot of the non-banned games, because we are going to be playing with bans. That's an important thing for us to just to reiterate. No bans tonight. No one is banned. All heroes are playable. We'll probably see Mei, and I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Mei's fun.
I like seeing Mei.
Yeah, I'm a sadist. Mei's fun. For the most part, though, when he hasn't been banned, we've seen a lot of Reinhardt at all of these tiers. And I think if we're going to put Normac up against Cryptic Force, it's going to be not just a matter of who feeds more, because we know that's going to be Cryptic. It's also going to be a matter of who creates the most space for their off tanks and their hit scan DPS. We know that J-Vice, we know that Bing Bing, we know that Panda Games, we know Void Kit. We know these names. We know they pop off. We know they have these huge damage potentials on DPS. And we know that Bray and Cactus have these fantastic off tanks that really are so good at capitalizing on this space. But are Cryptic and are Normac going to be able to make that space for their teams as effectively against the other team?
Well, we're already starting off here. It's going to be Nepal for our first map. We mentioned a couple of the hero picks that we're going to be looking out for, but Bard, as our analyst for the night, what do you think we're going to see run here as we start off on Sanctum?
Oh, I absolutely expect Double Shield. This is such a good map to bunker yourself down, play a really aggressive poke. A lot of teams will run this Torbjorn. Hanzo's pretty popular. Soldier 76 and Ashe have seen a lot of play as well. So I think we're going to see the Double Shield. I think we'll see the Orisa Sigma, and we're going to see who wins these poke wars. And I think that can decide, this poke war on this first map can really decide who wins most of the poke war going forward throughout this entire match.
And we're already seeing a bit of interest between the team competitions. We can't really say anything until they start rolling out of spawn, but the one thing that kind of interests me the most is Placebo on the Brigitte. This isn't particularly brawly of a map, right? We know the Orisa Sigma is extremely prominent here. What do you think Placebo can do to really have a strong impact on this game versus something like a Zenyatta Baptiste that can just pump out damage?
Yeah, well, I think there's two ways this could go. This could just be a comfort pick. A lot of Break has been played this season in Brawl, and there's been a decent amount in Double Shield people have been running. That armor's really important with this Tracer as well. But it could also be that they just misread Kalibur and they expected a dive coming out here to counter their poke comp.
Oh, already starting off. Granted, there's a pause going down right now, but Panda Games finds an early pick onto the Zenyatta. And the biggest thing is now you're lacking that Discord orb. You're lacking that bonus damage to shred through these tanks. And as small as it may seem, you're running a sustained fight. This is something that is a battle of attrition. And when you go down that key of a player, that is going to be super key. Not to mention, they had a disconnect. So that's effectively another pick given the way of Airstrike.
Yeah, that's no supports are going to be in this first fight for the side of Kalibur. It was El Baba Yaga who disconnected, and that's just really unfortunate. You lose your Zenyatta first. That's a lot of damage supplied for your team. That's a lot of backup. It's a good source of auxiliary healing, but losing that Baptiste immediately, even to a DC, even if it wasn't a pick, that's just so gut-wrenching going into this first fight. And now Kalibur, they're going to have to try and take the fight on point. They're going to have to try and run this as a stall. They're going to have to try and get as much ult charge as they can build in this first fight before probably just having to give it up, really.
I mean, there's always the option of just dip out right now. Get out with the players that you have. Get away as little ult charge as possible. But as the pause comes undone, we'll see what Airstrike want to do about the situation, because they can now get very, very aggressive with it. Shots coming out, Bing Bing holding their ground, but Panda Games are harassing this backline so effectively here. Dynamite's over. They're doing as much as they can to dissuade Airstrike from moving anywhere and taking out Cryptic Force is step number one. The hold through pulls down the other tank. Cactus falls on the Sigma. Kalibur pulled this back from the jaws of defeat, and it looks like they're going to take over this first tick.
Yeah, and that really is an overextension from Cryptic Force. He probably thought about it the same way I did. They're going to have to move to point. They're going to have to play this out until they eventually lose. And he just got aggressive. He decided, hey, we can just win it right now with no healers. And maybe some miscommunication. His team wasn't there with him, and he just got taken down way too quickly for that fight.
The child too eager for their candy. They will be punished now, though. They have to come up against Kalibur, who have all their players now, but Void Kid doesn't give a damn. Takes Bing Bing's head off of his shoulders and starts this fight off right. That Dynamite was so critical to winning the last one. Now Kalibur have to do it without it. Another kill from Void Kid onto the other DPS here. The only thing left is a turret, and Cactus has taken easy care of that. Now the support's bound to fall afterwards as the point begins to take over. Cryptic Force taking care of that one as Airstrike look to improve their chances of winning this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And Panda Games using the Pulse Bomb really early in that point, and the point still hasn't been capped. Bray doing a fantastic job of staying alive, and now Kalibur make it back to the point on time for the cap not to come for the side of Airstrike, and they're just doing such a good job holding on to this. I really like this swap from El Baba Yaga onto the Brigitte to stop Panda Games from being able to get as aggressive in the backline. And as we say that again, Panda Games pushing in the backline and force back.
It's a really tough fight here. Kalibur have come through, and yet another halt pick down onto Cactus is going to be huge for them. El Baba Yaga on the point, the sustain now getting so difficult, displacing this team, removing them from the point. We saw how much difficulty they had getting Bray off, and now they can't even take the point.
Yeah, and again, the alts are building up for the side of Airstrike, but it's going to be really tricky here. Void Kit with this Bob might be able to do some serious disruption in the backline, give him a lot of space. He is going to send it in, and he does create the opening for his team.
A very quick start so far for Airstrike. They're using two of these ultimates, the Molten Core and the Bob. It's paying off, but it seems like Kalibur were very welcoming of that. They said, okay, we're going to let you use your ultimates and we'll come away, use as little as we can, and try and take this one in the next fight. But Airstrike have held on to at least one key ultimate.
Yeah, really, really good there from Void Kit. The great placement of the Bob. They were all just funneled by the side of Kalibur into a point where they couldn't really do anything. But now the BAP ultimate is going to be used, and Cryptic Force is going to be chased down. And how are they going to be able to turn this around with such a huge ult advantage on the side of Kalibur?
Airstrike have bought themselves space and pushed everybody back into a corner. That means it's time for Cactus to come through. The Grid Flux up, but he's being put down on his own. Bray solo ultimates him and finds the kill. A massive pick down onto the off tank, now followed up by the pressure from Kalibur. Everyone's on point. J-Vice throws in the Molten Core for good measure. Overtime ticking down. It doesn't look like Airstrike are going to touch as Kalibur takes away the first point of Nepal.
Yeah, absolutely. Kalibur just looking much stronger on this double shield. I really enjoy the potential for the pick of the Tracer early on there. If you expect them to run BAP Zen, you can get the early picks onto that Zenyatta, and there's so much damage mitigation being done just by taking the Zen out of the game. But they swap over to the Brig. The Sigma coming out of Bray was able to put a lot of pressure on Panda Games in that backline, and there really just wasn't as much that Tracer could do afterwards. And the swap over to the Torb was just too late from Panda Games.
Now look at these competitions we have coming out. There's a very, very different take, right? We have the slightly older Reinhardt Diva versus the much newer Reinhardt Orisa. Granted, people have run Reinhardt Orisa before, but it's kind of popped back into the meta. I've been enjoying playing it personally. And of course, we see J-Vice and Bing Bing locking in the Mei Reaper, which I think is going to be super key to how this matchup plays out.
Yeah, and Cryptic Force has fed his way onto a menu screen. He has DC'd from the game. But it looks like he is back, so we're going to be moving into this. I really like the brawl coming out of Airstrike here. They didn't win map 1, or round 1? Point 1? Control's weird. They didn't win Sanctum. They know that the poke probably is not going to play to their strengths against Kalibur, especially with Bray playing so strong in the Sigma. But now, Bray coming out here on the Orisa and Normac on the Rhine, they're actually going to run a pretty brawl-centric poke, a very weird kind of hybrid comp that's been seen a lot this season. And so I think the brawl actually, a great read maybe for double shield, but not going to do enough without the double shield being played.
Oh my god. Already though, J-Vice has found a pick onto Placebo, and you have to see Voidkit come away with picks. Otherwise, these fights are going to be so difficult. Now, Airstrike put on the back foot, being forced back into their own spawn. Cryptic holding shield for once in his life, and that's going to be the story of this first tick. Again, Kalibur just pressuring them off.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, like you said, Voidkit here, they're running a less brawly comp with this McCree instead of the Reaper. And in some regards, it seems weird, but the double shield is actually out-brawling this Rhine-centered composition. So we're going to have to see exactly how Airstrike intend to turn this around. The first pick on the J-Vice is going to help them.
That it is. Nano down on a Cryptic Force. He can feed to his heart's content. Now he's got a lot of damage to back himself up. All the members of Kalibur dropping extremely low, but the Amplification Matrix going to be healing them right back up, giving them an essential reset, but it doesn't matter because Airstrike come through with the first Blizzard of the match and roll over the fight.
Yeah, the pick onto J-Vice there was so crucial. He couldn't use the Blizzard to help his team. There was no wall to cut off this fast brawl engagement. The speed boost used so well from Placebo to get them in there. And then Panda Games forced to use the Blizzard in the backline, and the Nano was committed as well. You'd love to see the fight win with just the Blizzard on its own, but if you're keeping Cryptic Force alive and keeping your whole team up, that's more than enough. That's all you can really ask for coming out of your supports there. But now, J-Vice and Normac coming in here with the Blizzard and the Shadow. We're going to have to see if Cactus can eat that coming into this fight.
That's going to be super key to whether or not they can win. Voidkit zoning them effectively with a Deadeye here, finding a couple of dinks, a lot of damage down to the main tank. Panda Games dropped very low. In fact, Normac is the first one to fall here. The Reinhardt down, the brawl potential now raising through the roof for Airstrike, and it's going to pay off. Panda Games coming through, freezing up Bing Bing, eliminating that Reaper. That's such a problem. They're going to commit the Blizzard regardless, so can they follow up? Do they have the damage? Yes, they find themselves a nice set of 2 picks here as Cactus gets the remech and Airstrike. The Cavalry, they've arrived, they've reset themselves, they've bought so much space on the point. It's just a matter of time before the damage is there. Normac gets back, but his main tank falls. There's nothing to follow up. And remember, this entire time, there's percentage going the way of Airstrike. The longer this goes, the better it is for them. They've bought themselves another Blizzard. They've bought themselves another Nano down to Cryptic, and it's looking to win this fight over for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Voidkit going in, following his Nano to Reinhardt with that bonus damage and survivability. Just no fear from either of them going in there. Very great synergy out of the two of them. And Placebo, though, with the beat. He gets the beat off just on time before being pulled back into that Blizzard and frozen, essentially fully mitigating, completely canceling out the impact from the Blizzard of J-Vice and allowing Panda Games and Voidkit to wreak havoc on the point.
And now as Kalibur make their way back in, they're going to be using that Amplification Matrix very aggressively. The wall put up to give them time to peel back. Airstrike have avoided a lot of damage here, but Bing Bing loaded up, has a Death Blossom in tow. Could be the key ultimate. They need to finally take this point over, making its way into the back line. Uses the Wraith form to get out for the time being, but dropped very, very low as Cryptic Force is frozen right on him, but he does fall with such a critical ultimate in his back pocket. You can't be doing that. Normac as well. The next to go, J-Vice has to use the Blizzard on point. The damage is there. They'll take down Cryptic Force, but at what cost here? So much was committed from Kalibur.
Yeah, now it's just going to be a reset from Airstrike, a hard reset off the map, and I almost thought they were going to win that fight. Panda Games with such a strong wall at the beginning, but then J-Vice splits Panda away from his team and allows Kalibur to collapse onto Cryptic Force with that Blizzard that he's just avoiding Cactus's DM so well and making so much space for his team. You know, you think Ryan should be the space maker, but May should be right up there with him, using those walls to create space and those freezes to create pick opportunities. And so far, J-Vice is doing a wonderful job of that.
Early bongo here, though, and now there's a Blizzard in key. No sound barrier to counter it. Bray, though, does manage to get out. Shadow from Normac is massive. Puts everybody on the ground just in time as well, but Airstrike aren't done yet. They've got a sound barrier of their own. Just enough to keep them alive as Bray's taken out of the fight. El Baba Yaga boops everybody off the point, buys the team a lot of space, but it's just not enough when you lack that main tank, when you lack that body. There is nothing in between you and the wrath of Cryptic Force.
Oh, Placebo with a beautiful boop gets Bing Bing off the point while they're trying to use that Death Blossom ultimate. So much damage should be available for your team there, but nothing actually happens because of Placebo just beautifully pushing him off of the objective. And now the Shatter's going to come out from Cryptic. It's not going to get anything, but he is going to turn around and shut down J-Vice. And Void Kid goes insane on the point with 3 big picks. And Airstrike are going to take us to a round 3 on Nepal.
That is why that's your all-star. Void Kit has come out to play, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen it in chat. When this man is feeling himself, there is not a single player that can stand between him and victory. We're tied up 1-1 here on Nepal, and we're going into what is a very, very interesting map. There's been a set meta on Nepal Village for a very long time with the May Reaper, and I'm very curious whether or not Airstrike want to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like both teams are going to be going with the brawl here. I do really like Bing Bing sticking on the Symmetra. We've seen Symmetra be played in the Overwatch League with a lot of success, especially in the first fight, but we've also seen a lot of teams try and swap it up, and Bing Bing looked relatively comfortable on that Reaper in the last round. So we'll have to see. It looks like they're going to stay. Looks like Bing Bing's going to stay on it, and Void Kit's going to swap over to the Reaper. I actually really like the Sim here over the Reaper. It's a bit more range, a bit more point control, and now they're going to be coming into this first fight.
They are. Normac already set up on point alongside Bray here. The Symmetra charged up for Bing Bing, pressuring down the shield of Cryptic Force. Remember, he doesn't have an Orisa in this fight. They went with the D.Va Ryan. They have to get in, but it's so difficult with so much damage right up in your face. And we do see Panda Games getting a little bit aggressive, nearly too big for his britches and punished for it, but not quite. The point will take over to Kalibur, however, and every second this fight is not won by Airstrike. It is time that they're losing percentage. Cryptic Force goes down, and I'll tell you what, they're losing more than percentage. They're losing health bars. Great anti-nade, though, out of Sheepy. Puts down Cactus out of the mech. In fact, actually punished. Airstrike, they get over aggressive to follow up that anti-nade.
Yeah, you can't get aggressive like that without your shield. You have to have the pick to follow behind, and they didn't find anything. The anti-nade from Sheepy, really great. Sheepy's looked really good keeping Cryptic and Cactus up this entire game. But again, Void Kit is going to just get thoroughly outranged by that Sim, and the damage potential is going to be the same as they go into this next fight.
That is, we've got Monaka with the Amplification Matrix as well, going to be buying them a lot of room. Immediately, though, Airstrike just moves straight past the Shadow from Normac, though, puts Cryptic Force on the ground. Nano, regardless, he's dropped extremely low, and Void Kit out of the fight. That's the damage for Airstrike cut effectively in half. Cryptic Force does a gut check Shatter, but absolutely not, says Normac in this fight, as they use the Bongo to re-engage for themselves. Good Blizzard to try and peel for it, but the damage is just too much. J-Vice, the icicles, everything is there in Kalibur. Look like they're going to be coming away with another fight.
Yeah, that Blizzard used a little too late there coming out of Panda Games, probably used on a cooldown, and you're really going to want that going to this next fight. Placebo, though, has looked so big on that Lucio, and he's going to have the beat coming into this fight, maybe able to mitigate J-Vice's Blizzard as they come into this, but Bing Bing with that wall. I want to see how creative he can get with this Sim wall, essentially playing triple shield as they try and take the point back.
81% is the last fight territory here for Airstrike. It's now or never, but they don't have quite the ultimates they want to try and do it. Placebo has a sound barrier to try and counter out the Blizzard, and now it's all about timing on that support ultimate. The more value they can get out of it, the better chance they stand against all this damage coming out from Kalibur. Early wall, though, from Airstrike is placed perfectly. Bucks him into the back line. Doesn't find anything, though. A great wall and a great job by this Symmetra to deny everything and anything coming out of Airstrike. Shatters well from Normac is just the cherry on top at this point. Kalibur have set themselves up beautifully to come away with the map 1.
Absolutely, and it really is. Normac and Bray on this double shield composition are giving Cryptic Force no room to work. They're just absolutely shutting him down. A fantastic showing from both of those tanks. And while I think the support lines have looked relatively even, Monaka trying to run this Baptiste as opposed to running the Ana is just allowing so much utility mid-fight with those immortality fields, allowing those double shield compositions, not quite as mobile as previous comps, to just stay still and just not have to back down from the aggression of Airstrike.
Well, I mean, I think it's a really, really smart pick. Of course, it's been the meta as of late to run the Orisa Reinhardt. But when you think about it, when you're running the Orisa Reinhardt versus the Reinhardt Diva, you have so much more disengage potential. You have so much more ability to hunker down and protect your Reinhardt, because you know that no matter what you do, Airstrike are going to be aggressing into you. You don't have to worry about running into them. Hell, you might not even need a Lucio going up against this team because you know they're going to be doing all the movement for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, really interesting that they're running the Lucio from El Baba Yaga with the double shield. You normally see the Zen with the Baptiste. It's a ton of extra damage potential. You get a little more shield break, and you get a lot of potential healing, essentially the same healing potential coming out of the support ultimates with the Zen and the Lucio, which is going to be interesting. I don't know. It's really interesting to me to see the Lucio with that double shield comp, but then with Normac running that Reinhardt, he really is allowed to brawl a little harder with that Lucio. That being said, we are going to take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be back in just a few minutes to help you guys out here. We're going to sort some stuff out, make sure, hopefully we're not getting any more of those pauses going forward.
Apologies for the quick break, ladies and gentlemen, but I needed some water because this game is hype as hell right now. Kalibur and Airstrike still going at it. The first map running up 2-1, and now we're seeing what is my favorite map pick. It is either the Pocket Paris pick or the Pocket Horizon Lunar Colony pick. You practice it because nobody else wants to, and my god, do I love to see that kind of play out of Airstrike.
Yeah, Airstrike here pulling for Horizon Lunar Colony, and after the changes, Horizon is not nearly as bad of a map as Paris. In my totally unbiased, non-hating of Paris opinion, it's definitely not the worst map.
I ditch Paris every time I get it in queue. I just leave.
Yeah, no, it's 100% not the worst map in the game. Wink, wink, Blizzard. Please change
not
it.
the vibe.
It's a vibe killer. You're running through comp, and then all of a sudden, just everything's done. You never want to play again. But Horizon, I expect a lot of spam damage coming out of these teams. Void Kit on attack with the Symmetra, and there are so many good cheeky teleport strats here that I'd love to see them try. But the double shield coming out of Kalibur, and El Baba Yaga is going to be on the Brig, perhaps expecting the teleport to come out to begin with. Brig can be a really good brawl stun kind of teleport counter. You just drop on top of the teleporter and win the shield war immediately. But also, Bing Bing going to be coming out here with the Ashe and J-Vice with the Torp, so maybe they are thinking of running a much more standard poke comp.
Now, Ashe Torb, I don't know if you know this, is actually one of the best counters to Symmetra strategies. It's run a lot on maps like Hanamura, where the Symmetra is common. Now, as we see Airstrike move in, I'm curious to see where Void Kid actually puts this teleporter, whether or not it's going to be underneath the balcony or not. And in fact, it looks like it will be here, as it's all set up and ready to go. Airstrike move themselves in. Cryptic Force on the Earth, though. They're actually running a double shield. They're not running a brawl with their Symmetra. In fact, they catch out Bray, who's fallen off the high ground. I'm assuming that had to have been a halt from Cryptic Force, and it comes up massively. Void Kit goes down, but his job's already done. The Symmetra teleporter made its way through. Now it's up to Bing Bing to get this damage in on the Ashe. These dynamites have to be huge, because J-Vice as well is in the middle of nowhere. Kalibur have all fallen down off the high ground, and Airstrike have a fantastic position on this point. Now we see Kalibur set up outside. The Dynamite's coming up and over, but they have absolutely zero presence. Normac has to force himself in on this, and it's so difficult because now Cactus is wrapping around. He's in on the backline. He's got an off angle. Panda Games is throwing in spam damage with the icicles. So much space to work with from Airstrike, and it's all because of these massive halts from Cryptic Force and the boops from Placebo, pushing them off the high ground.
Oh, yeah, Cryptic Force really known for his Reinhardt, but pulling out the Orisa here and just looking dominant over Normac. Maybe showing that map 1 is not going to be the way that the entire match goes, and no ults coming online, but Panda Games is 90 to his Blizzard, so we got to be looking forward to that going in.
Oh boy, what a great ultimate to come into the second point as well. Cactus 73% down to Gravitic Flux. The only thing standing in their way is a possible bob from Bing Bing. Airstrike, this is their fight to lose moving into this. This is their map to take, and they're going to be taking it. TP into the corner of the point. They set up their bunker. Halts off the high ground. Both J-Vice and Manaka down. What a huge play from Cryptic Force. Now 4 versus 6 on the point. The Blizzard's there. The amplification matrix. Everything is loaded up. Bray, the only thing that contests his point. Bob's there. But my God, he just gets melted down immediately. Nearly 2 ticks given away already to the likes of Airstrike. This Metro Wall. 4 insult to injury. Placebo nearly all the way to his sound mirror. They want to seal it out. They want to seal it out now. All they are is a couple kills away from victory as J-Vice falls, and all that kill potential is now gone. Baba Yaga frozen up. Kalibur, all they can do is stall as the 3rd tick starts to melt away at this point. Panda Games as well, freezing people up. Normac on the ball, doesn't stand a chance. Amplification Matrix, be damned, because Manaka is down. Another Gravitic Flux from Cactus, my God. Airstrike, where the hell did this come from?
Absolutely, and they're trying not to get too CP'd here, and they won't. They're going to take with 4 minutes and 34 seconds left, and I think the real shift came there from Void Kit, just saying, all right, we're going to run Sim. We're going to run Sim. All right, cool. I'm just going to bowl through your entire team. He built up charge in those fights and just never lost it. That Sim beam, it's just a damage machine. You just hold it in front of them and the numbers happen. It's like World of Warcraft, just a first-person shooter. You don't even have to do anything. You just point forward and there's no shields for Normac or Bray to play behind. And Cryptic Force with those halts. There was no high ground control for the entirety of Kalibur, for the entirety of the map. They couldn't do anything. They were like, all right, we're going to stand next to this ledge and shoot down at you. Oh, cool. We're on the ground now, and we're dead. Nothing you can do.
And I think this kind of brings into play, this was Airstrike's pick. This is a map not many people like to play. Not many people enjoy practicing. And as much as you should practice every map, and we do understand that these teams are good, you will practice maps you prefer more than maps you don't. And I'm not sure Kalibur saw this kind of a pick coming, and Airstrike have been plenty ready. Those halts, the Symmetra, the understanding of their ability to snowball was so massive for that fight. And honestly, I can't wait to see more of it here on their defense.
Yeah, and Panda Games on that May. has looked so fantastic going into that. The freezes were huge, so much shield pressure as well, just pushing through and freezing those tanks so that they couldn't come into it. And he built up that blizzard so quickly. So we're going to see exactly how they try and use that to counter the TP as they come in here. It looks like Bing Bing is going to set up to just go straight to the point with this teleporter. No, they're not going to use the teleporter at all. They're just going to bait it out, and now it's going to be used, but the wall from Panda Games is so effective. It's slowing down this teleport as they come in. Normac and Bray trying to set up on the point here, running this Brawl double shield again with the Reinhardt. Bing Bing taking out the Immortality field, but Monaka's is not going to last much longer. Cactus, oh, Void Kick gets Baba Yaga, and Cryptic Force takes down Bing Bing so early. There's nothing that Sim can do. You want to be building up that damage. You want to be letting that beam charge up, but when you die second on your team, there's absolutely no chance for that to happen, and Cactus and Cryptic Force are looking so much stronger on this double shield comp than we saw them last.
And I think there's a fundamental difference in understanding of how to play this point right now. Airstrike, beautiful disengage there. Nets them a great fight, and now an ultimate advantage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be seeing Void Kit with the Bob early on. The last Bob we saw from him was so impactful, so he's going to use it this time, I think, to put some pressure on Bing Bing and J-Vice as they try and run this dive comp into here.
Now you've given up all your ultimate charge. This has to pay off. J-Vice are taken low by Void Kit. Has the Bob loaded up even for point pressure. Bing Bing dropped very low on the Tracer. Damn, dude, there is nothing that Kalibur can do. They can't even get close with this dive competition. Oh my god, what a shot from Void Kit onto Bing Bing as well. That is not what you want to be seeing for Kalibur. J-Vice doing everything he can on the flank, but the healing, the bunker is just too much. Airstrike finally have been forced back onto this point, but honestly, they're perfectly comfortable here. This is just a second defense for them. They get to hold this as long as they want. And Void Kit as well still gets to play these off angles with the Ashe and has a beautiful position.
Yeah, absolutely, and he has the Bob coming in this. Sheepy has the nano boost. The dive is going to come in, but that wall splits Bray off. And Normac, he's entirely on his own. A brilliant Bay wall, and the Bob comes out with it to put some pressure on J-Vice. He takes out Placebo, maybe making some room for Bing Bing here, but Panda Games now has the Blizzard online. And Cactus has his Gravitic Flux. Cryptic Force is going to get slept, but it's not going to matter because J-Vice is not close enough to capitalize on that with this dangerous utility of Echo. No sticky bombs and no disintegration beam coming out from him. And now Normac, he's back in the fight, but it's not going to matter. It's just him and Bray trying to make room while Bing Bing gets pressured out in the backline. The peel is so strong to try and shut down that Tracer, and then the sleep from Sheepy is going to get Normac. He tries to use his Primal Rage. Oh, but Cactus with a huge ultimate, and Bray, he eats the Blizzard, and now how are they going to be able to hold on to this as Baba Yaga gets the pick onto Void Kit? Oh. Baba Yaga, he also got Panda Games. Normac and taking down Sheepy and J-Vice, finally getting some pressure on that Echo. And now going into point B, the ult advantage is going to be pretty even, but with that Echo ultimate being able to swap into another tank here, it's probably going to be Cactus. If they can get that shield and that Gravitic Flux early, that's going to be such a strong point for them pushing into this.
That is, however, they're not coming in with the same ultimate bank that we saw out of Airstrike whenever it was their turn. And already, this time bank just so different. Void Kit, though, getting pushed off this high ground. The dive looking very strong for Kalibur right now, but Cactus remains unbroken. Very low, though, in the anti-nade. He'll be putting in a lot of damage. Normac finally gets to finish him off. J-Vice, though, has duplicated over in Orisa. Can he keep himself alive, though?
Oh, he has to try. He is going to be able to build up this Orisa ultimate, but he's not going to get to use it. He doesn't get taken out of his ultimate. He just doesn't have the room to use it and build it up on the point, but already almost 2 ticks taken. Void Kit forced to use that Bob as J-Vice is still getting much more value now on this Echo on the second point, I think, with more room to work around it. Are going to see Void.
Oh, okay. The audio seems to have finally been fixed, my god. But you've been doing a great job, Bard. It's time to bring it back, though. The play-by-play is here, and my god, Kalibur, they have a tough task ahead. They've only got this Pulse Bomb to really work with Normac. Oh, never mind. Void Kit takes J-Vice's head off of his shoulders before the fight even begins.
Oh, that's exactly what you need to do on the Ashe. You need to just click away at that Echo, not give her any space to work with. We saw him get a beautiful pick on Bing Bing earlier, but honestly, if you take the Echo out of the fight, the dive just gets neutered because so much of the pick potential on that jump in and the damage burst is just gone for the team. But now, The dive comes in, and Cryptic Force pressured early, and Normac's alone. He's alone.
Normac drops in the primal, actually pushes a lot of people into a pulse bomb, but a great invulnerability field stops that from happening. J-Vice finds one on a cactus, but without a main tank now, Kalibur are gonna have a really hard time finding any sort of presence on top of this point, and still set up in the corner of the point is gonna be Cryptic Force. We haven't seen him die in forever. It's because that Orisa just has so much health, though. The kill slowly rolling the way of Kalibur. They're muscling their way on, but it's such a struggle for this team. Critic Flux as well out of Cactus just puts everybody at half HP. Cryptic Force going to be nanoed up by Sheepy in the invulnerability field as well, stopping any damage from happening. Kalibur, yes, they've gotten kills. Yes, they're grinding this one out, but it's so difficult to actually kill this Airstrike team.
Absolutely, this is 2 CP in action. J-Vice knows he has to put the team on his shoulders, gets down Placebo, takes down Cactus. The bomb is going to come out there. It's not going to stop Bob, but it is going to take him off of the point now. And Panda Games has to be aggressive, has to continue to touch this point to give his team the chance to touch, but they can't. Cryptic and Cactus are just a second too late. Panda Games taken down early, and Kalibur are going to take the point with just over a minute left.
Oh my god, it was dicey there for Kalibur. That first point looked awful to push into. Airstrike looked so strong. And again, that fundamental understanding of how to play Horizon Lunar Colony is just coming into question. Airstrike have such a good idea. And honestly, I feel like this round, we're actually going to see Kalibur try to emulate that in some way in their defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. J-Vice had a little bit of a shaky start on that Echo, but once he got warm, he looked unstoppable. Voidkit had to dome him, had to just click on his forehead to take him out of that game, or else J-Vice was going to run over the entirety of this double shield comp. And it looks like Panda Games is going to be staying on this May. I really like this. I don't think they're expecting the teleport again. I think it'd be silly, of Kalibur to try and run the Sim TP again, and it would be silly of Airstrike to expect it again, but I want to see more from J-Vice here. I want to see him getting that backline. I want to see him diving in with Normac, using the space provided by this dive coordination to just burst down a target or two and just make room for his team to just sweep through this point.
Yeah, that focusing beam is so good at finishing off targets, right? Winston comes through, can put down multiple people to half HP at once, and then throw in the focusing beam on top of that, get the bonus damage, and it just becomes a weapon of mass destructions in the hands of somebody like J-Vice. And now as Kalibur set up a dive, we see Normac again on the Winston, something he's so proficient at. J-Vice trying to use focusing beam, but nobody's quite low enough to capitalize on it. Airstrike, though, they're going to be forced back in the corner point. Bing Bing finds an early pick. Cactus caught out before he can rotate properly. Panda Games finds one to return, but it doesn't matter. These tanks matter so much more. And I'll tell you what, Kalibur's got two of them.
Absolutely, and now it's just Panda Games and Sheepy trying to stay up on point. Sheepy's trying to retreat back to Voidkit, who did manage to escape, takes down Normac, but I really don't think there's anything Voidkit can do to take this point here. And man, the dive just looks so much more coordinated and so much better coming out of Kalibur than it did the first time on point A. But point B is really the difference maker here. 4.5 minutes for Airstrike. They have to cap at least to take a point B, or they're going to be playing essentially for a draw or a loss here.
It's going to be a very difficult push here for Kalibur. They don't have much in the way of ultimates. However, Bing Bing's pulse bombs, they have been doing a good job of connecting. Unfortunately, Placebo has been on top of it with these invulnerability fields. Now everybody's set up here in the back left of point. Honestly, Airstrike have adapted very well to the dive. They recognize what was wrong with their positioning in the last fight, and now they've got it all fixed up. Voidkit finds an early pick onto Monaka, the one he was looking at in the previous fight. He has so much free reign, but right now Bing Bing is just running him all the way back to spawn. 19 HP on this man, but Airstrike are not dying anytime soon. Cactus and Cryptic Force doing a fantastic job making makeshift DPS on the point.
Absolutely, and just that bob from Voidkit put in the perfect position to apply so much backline pressure onto Kalibur's tanks as they tried to stay alive in that fight. Voidkit really showing why he is one of the MVPs of Discord tier this season with some fantastic Ashe gameplay. And Sheepy getting pressured by both DPS there, the Echo and the Tracer, and managing to keep herself up with some help from Voidkit and her other support there. It just looks so good on that Ana, keeping their tanks alive. Cryptic really was trying to feed for quite a bit of that, and Sheepy and Placebo would just not let him.
Yeah, doing a great job there on the supports like you mentioned. Now as we head into Airstrike's turn to attack, they have a massive time bank, and this is what I wanted to see. Okay, I love that they're running the Symmetra back. Kalibur, last time they played this defense, they had absolutely no idea how to properly deal with how to disengage to the back of the point like we saw Airstrike do with almost perfect form. So if Kalibur cannot learn from their mistakes and pick up on what Airstrike did correctly, they're in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do like the swap here from J-Vice onto Echo. That's going to be so much burst damage onto the actual teleport itself. When they try and TP through the sticky bombs, the disintegration beam, just the normal firing of Echo really is going to be so much damage to the entire team here. And Bing Bing swapping over the Torbjorn, looking really good here, I think, to try and counter this teleport.
The Torbjorn, of course, a very good pick into Symmetra teleport strats, but it's going to come out from Void Kit and work perfectly. Halt off! I don't again! Cryptic has done it! Great falls down! He's going to get melted on the Sigma, but Airstrike, they're valuing the point presence more than anything else. J-Vice is going to have a really hard time moving in on this team now. They understand that focusing beam is so scary, but he's picking away at them from the side, lands a sticky bomb, slowly being focused off. Kalibur this time, they have a lot more point presence than they did last, but still so much damage is right up in their face, and Panda Games is hitting so many dinks on the Mei right now. Normac is feeling the hurt now with no Fortify to keep himself alive. Cryptic Force is right up in his jaws, and finally we'll see Airstrike grind out the sustained fight.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to collapse on that teleporter. Cryptic with just, I don't know what's possessed this man, but he is a demon with those pulls right now. And they're going to come into this with the Sheepy and Placebo, both support ults, and the wall. How are they going to stop this?
So they've got themselves set up on one high ground. They can actually teleport over to the other. No, it's just Void Kid who set himself up perfectly to send orb after orb after orb straight into the backline of Kalibur. That's going to deal a lot of damage, but Placebo falls first in Airstrike. I think this just tells you it is time to leave. You have so much of an advantage. You don't need to give this up. And yes, that's exactly what they're going to do. Back right on out while they still can.
Absolutely. And Sheepy using the window there from Baptiste, trying to allow for some extra damage, but I'm not sure how I feel about the TP from Void Kit there. He's trying to bait someone out from the side of Kalibur. He did end up baiting J-Vice, but just not enough pressure pulled for his team where that beam could be breaking those shields. But Panda Games with the Blizzard here could be enough to just take this point.
Could shut it down. Bing Bing, though, has a Molten Core that can deny so much point presence right now. Duplicate comes down on a J-Vice. If he can load up a Gravitic Flux, he could shut this down. But there's Symmetra on him at any point in time. Already takes him out of the Sigma form. And he's getting charged up again. Bing Bing, though, that Molten Core that I mentioned before does so much to peel away this point.
Oh, Bing Bing with a huge quad kill there. They try and run the TP strat again, and Void Kit, I expect the swap out of him now. He is not. He's going to keep running this. He's going to swap to McCree. Okay. He's here. He knows. He's psychic. He knows what I'm saying. And I really like the McCree here, or maybe a Soldier or an Ashe, something to put some pressure on to both J-Vice and that Torb turret for the engagement. The shield break, not going to be there quite as heavily with this double shield composition, but I think it is going to be enough here with both tank ults as they push in.
If they can set up Void Kit on the high ground, it'll be huge. And now the bongo drop. Normac in a world of hurt here as the entirety of Kalibur forced back by the pressure of Airstrike. And their one objective is to get Void Kit set up on this high ground, though. A great halt. Pulls Cactus down, forces him into the corner. This Airstrike side now completely split apart, but it doesn't matter because Void Kit is deadly on McCree. Takes down J-Vice, a bongo out across the touch.
Oh, Airstrike take that with such fantastic positioning and such a strong Mei wall from Panda Games. We do see the C9 lull in chat, but I don't really think that was a C9. I think that was just such strong pressure to stop them from being able to touch the point there. And that's exactly what you need to see from Panda Games on that Mei and from Void Kit with the first pick onto that Echo, giving them so much trouble going in there and still just, J-Vice put on a clinic with that Echo, but it was not enough to stop Void Kit on McCree.
Yeah, Void Kit's McCree was insane. I mean, Cryptic Force's Orisa, something that we don't get to see shine all that often, looked amazing on Horizon Lunar Colony. It's kind of weird, because I don't think this is really an indicator for the entire series, right? I think a lot of this has come down to, that was a map that Airstrike have practiced, and might I even say mastered? But if we look back to the first map, Kalibur had a much better grasp on the meta compositions, the Orisa Reinhardt that we've seen. The double shield as well, they played extremely well. They managed to play dive there on Horizon Lunar Colony, finding even a little bit of success with that. And so we've seen a massive depth of hero pool from them. And when you take that into consideration, the rest of the series, I think that actually still leads the way of Kalibur. It was a beautiful map pick from Airstrike, but you can't do that every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if that double shield looks as strong going forward, they may have a chance here. But Normac and Bray have looked much more confident on more comps for those tank lines. I really like the Ryan Orisa going into King's Row, which is going to be our next map. But I also really like Dive on parts of this map if it runs out. But I think Brawl is just... It's Goat's Row. You got to run Brawl, right? You can't not run Brawl on Goat's Row.
Well, the one thing I want to see happen is Airstrike not run Reinhardt Diva or Reinhardt Zarya. I want to see them go on to the Orisa Reinhardt with the Lucio. I know you said it was weird, but it's actually been particularly meta for a while at this point. Running the Luciana or Lucio Moira with it is very powerful because you're still running the Reinhardt. You're still trying to play as aggressive. You just assume that the Orisa is going to do a little bit more for point sustain than a Diva is going to be able to do. And so if you can get up in their face, have a great May from Panda Games, I could see a little bit of success. But I think it's all predicated on the fact of whether or not they're actually able to play that Orisa Reinhardt composition at this point.
Yeah, and we are going to see them originally start off on Dive here with Panda Games on like Genji. This is a good... okay, it's a dive.
Okay, let's look at the defense because they're probably just memeing us on Airstrike at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Ryan Zarya coming out of Normac and Bray, and like I said, it's Goat's Row. You run Brawl, right? This seems like the easy choice here. Monica's gonna come out on this Moira here. I really do think both teams probably made a vow to run Ana, and it's just not happening. Either that or Monica just really wants to keep their Brawl comp alive. You really need to spread that healing around, share the love when they just try and int like this. But Voidkit is going to be starting off as Widow, and I want to see if he can get this first pick.
So Brawl versus Dive with Ana, Lucio. I think Cryptic's going to swap. Okay. I actually am very curious why Voidkit hasn't kept an Ashe or a Widowmaker here. There isn't a single thing to deny either of those. It is full Brawl from Kalibur, and Airstrike now have to show their mettle and keep Cryptic Force alive through this. A very difficult job here for Cactus, but he's been doing it all season. A great wall, lands down on a 4. Normac drops immediately! What a shield bash there! Pardon me, what a stun up from the likes of Voidkit. The flashbang was perfect from him, and the follow-up damage was there the entire time. Airstrike absolutely steamrolled point A of King's Row.
Yeah, I think Voidkit really warming up here. I think that first map, maybe not a full indicator of what he can do here. And the Brawl looks so strong now coming out here. So much damage able to be eaten by Cactus on that Diva and denied. And I really like the McCree here actually, just purely for that stun. I think that stun is going to be so good at countering Mini on that Reaper and getting extra damage onto Normac if he can get that flashbang over the shield to take him down. But now, this choke, it's so hard to get through, and Bray's coming up on a grab really fast.
It's a very, very scary proposition here. In such a short fight, Bray was able to do so much, and this choke can be so deadly. One Graviton Surge away from victory right now. He's almost got it loaded up, but Airstrike are dishing out a lot of damage to me. Cryptic with a backline shatter onto 3! Does so much for the team. The grab might be able to be enough. 2 kills traded back onto Cryptic Force and Placebo, but there's still Voidkit on the McCree. Such an issue. Has the Deadeye, probably not going to need it. And a Nade as well. Onto 2 from Sheepy, so clutch. El Baba Yaga duking it out though. The main left the only thing on cart. 1 versus 2. Is the healing enough? He's at 40 HP, and Cryptic Force comes back in the nick of time.
Oh, and the difference there really is the spawn times. Cryptic Force able to come back before anyone on the side of Kalibur, and Mini is going to be taken down, and that stun from Voidkit onto Normac really helps him secure that kill and keep the fight competitive, and that's exactly what you need from the McCree there. And now the Blizzard coming out from Panda Games. Cactus is going to have that bomb, and Voidkit and Placebo both have ultimates that can do a lot to turn a fight here, but it's 4 alts versus 4 alts essentially coming into this, and how are the Blizzards going to stack up as we go into this next fight?
I mean, Kalibur has so much. They've got practically 5 online here. The Blizzard, the Dead Blossom, the Coalescence, the Shadow. They've got so many options, and they're starting off with a beautiful wall. Normac loads it up. The Blizzard in from Airstrike, and they've been so proactive. Normac should fall for the sound barrier to keep them alive for the time being, but a bomb in the back line from Airstrike could be the peel. They needed 2 kills, though. The Deadeye from Void Kit trades them right on back as well. The bomb takes Bray out, and Void Kit's doing what Void Kit does best. Frag after frag after frag.
Absolutely. Void Kit opened that fight up with the stun onto Normac as he was shattering. He did not let the shatter come down there. And then 4 huge picks there. What are you Deadeye is supposed to be a zoning ultimate, Void Kit. You're not supposed to win a fight with it. What are you doing? That's insane. The dueling Blizzards came out, both of them in such great positioning, allowing the Divas to play around that, make so much room. But Void Kit, how are you supposed to stop that man? He just destroys your entire team.
Oh my god, you mentioned clutch plays before, and they are coming out. Cryptic Force has a shadow loaded up. Kalibur threw everything into that fight, and it still wasn't enough. The backline shatter again! Nanoed up. Cryptic Force has fed his way all the way to the end of King's Row. They're one short fight away from victory.
Oh, absolutely. El Baba Yaga, though, with a huge boop. El Baba Yaga has looked so good on the Lucio all night. Takes down Panda Games, but it's not going to be enough. Oh my god, the support line, El Baba Yaga and Monica have looked so good all night. J-Vice has looked really strong on that May as well. And Normac and Bray, you know, we talked about Cryptic a lot in that last map, but they have kept this competitive. And Bray and Normac are both going to be coming up on their ultimates coming into this, as well as J-Vice's Blizzard.
This is a good opportunity for Kalibur just to make sure this Deadeye doesn't find that much value. And Void Kit is doing his thing again. Mini already down. Bomb into the back line, and Kalibur has so much going into this fight, but now they're down 2 players. Bomb from back is beautifully placed. And in this one, Baba Yaga and Mini can buy a little bit of time on this part. Kalibur can start to run that clock down. But as it nears the end of this Omnic Fortress, I can only help but say Airstrike are looking incredible right about now.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, it's so back and forth, but what is really deciding a lot of these fights is the target priority. These tanks are being taken down first. You want to be getting those shields out of the way. Reinhardt is going to just be a nuisance if you allow him to stay alive throughout the fight. So Cryptic and Normac are just getting pressured down and dying. That's exactly what you need to do as DPS. But then Void Kit, he's playing McCree. You need to kill the man. Shoot at the McCree until he's dead and then kill the other teammates. I understand Ana, such a high priority pick, keeps their team up for so long. May, an absolutely fantastic pick going into most fights. It's so hard to create space and maintain that space without a May when you aren't running a second kind of high damage output tank or high damage output DPS. But McCree, he's so much pressure on your team and he's not dying early on in fights at all.
No, and Panda Games' walls as well have been on point, keeping his team alive. Like, you look at the sustain that these teams offer, and now we finally see Bray swap from the Zarya onto the Diva. And honestly, I think there's just so much more value. We saw a very, very questionable Graviton Surge after they were already down 2 players, as well as the spawn advantages coming into play at that point. I don't think it was necessary. I'm not even sure if he charged up another one in the time it took to get that point. So the swap over to Diva is a much welcome change of pace here. Airstrike going to be running the exact same composition. I can't blame them. Void Kit's McCree is insane. Cactus's Diva is ridiculously powerful. I'm curious to see, though. We see Mini swap over to a McCree. So going toe-to-toe with Void Kit here is going to be so key. You have to be able to match that damage output if you want to win this fight. Kalibur slowly approaching this point, though. Looking for a good opportunity to have J-Vice throw down a wall. Does do so, but Cryptic Force coming out! Mini comes up big with a headshot onto him. No main tank in sight now. Airstrike are left with nothing in the tank. They have to back up because the second you take down the Reinhardt, your team composition just crumbles.
Yeah, Kalibur saying, okay, we see how it's going to be. We're going to take this really fast. We're going to play a game of seconds. All right, we're going to play a game of seconds. And absolutely pushing in there. The stun coming out from Mini, so strong in the wall. Oh, the wall coming out from Panda Games is so good, and Normac goes down so early.
Oh my god, he put himself in the wrong place at an extremely wrong time there. Panda Games is lying in wait to pick up what's effectively a free lunch at that point. Kalibur, they're looking better with this Diva composition, but I need to see some consistent performance. Mini has a Deadeye loaded up, can't even this fight, but Sheepy, of course, has the Nano. 40% ahead of Monaka right now in that ultimate charge. And now Cryptic Force has been turned into a real threat. Mini walled off from the Deadeye. Cryptic Force still frozen down. Point get just in time though, finds an early pick. Cryptic Force gets the nano, and now we can see Airstrike push back through in that initial disengage off of the A point is paying off because they get to hold this choke.
Yeah, and the real difference there, if you ask me on that first point, one of the main things is playing Moira against an Ana. You have so much less utility. There's no antis to play around. You can't sleep to save yourself. You essentially have to leave fights with that fade. But now, the dueling Anas are making this much more competitive, and it really is coming down to that Mei and McCree gameplay to keep their teams in this.
Blizzard's online though for J-Bison. That could be so key here. Monaka as well has the nano. Void Kid somehow finds yet another kill with the Deadeye. 2 kills before anything happens, and Kalibur have been so hesitant, so patient with their ultimates, but they're just giving Airstrike far too much time to act.
Absolutely, and Mini had the right idea. You engage with your ultimates. You don't wait until mid-fight. You need to push through this choke point. There's a reason it's so deadly. There's so little room to move around unless you're trying something cheeky, and Panda Games is allowed to hold on to his Blizzard there, which is going to match J-Vice's going into this fight, and this is going to be so hard to get through this choke.
4 ultimates up for Kalibur, though. If they can't do it now, I don't know when they can. Airstrike matching it, though, with ultimates of their own. It's going to be a difficult one. The wall, though, is very, very good out of J-Vice. Early Blizzard from Airstrike again to peel. Sound barrier as well. They've committed to shot him on three! Combo! Oh, my God! Beautifully played by Kalibur. They commit 3 ultimates, and every single one of them pays off.
Absolutely what you need to see there. Normac finding the perfect time for that shatter, and Bray, he has such good tank synergy. He knows. He says, oh, you're gonna shatter here? Cool, I'm gonna throw the bomb before you even do it, and kills 4 people with that. That's absolutely incredible. Both DPS ults are held onto by Kalibur, and they have the Blizzard going in to this contest.
They have all the keys to roll through this point. B Void Kit, though, with that patented Deadeye looking for kills through the shield. Normac goes down, Mini what the hell is going on? 3 kills away of Airstrike 2. Or pardon me, 2 kills away of Airstrike, 3 in the way of Kalibur. Cryptic Force coming through, though, finds one more into El Babi. Takes away the potential of that sound barrier as well. Now swinging through. Mini picks up 2, making a name for himself on the McCree. Panda Games freezing up everything in his sight, doing the best to take down J-Vice, and he will. Now the sustain out of the way, the ice block used on point, but Airstrike, they're running out of gas in the tank. Kalibur, they've finally done it. They take over point B.
Absolutely, and Panda Game's really doing the most to keep himself in there. Builds his way up about 90% to another ultimate, so they're going to have another Blizzard before this next point cap, which I think is going to be a huge difference maker. And Cactus, I want to see a really creative bomb here. I want to see something where he either makes just a ton of room for his team, or if possible, gets a couple picks here. They don't have anything really to play around minus that Blizzard, so I want to just see him be really creative with how he throws it, and it goes in really early.
Oh, look at the knowledge of the angles. Bounced it off both the walls, but a clever wall actually is going to be stopping it here. Now Deadeye from Mini buys a lot of space. Cryptic Force standing right in the way. That is going to break his shield immediately. Now the damage is free to go in as much as they want. But Bray with the eat! Oh my God! Cryptic Force takes down J-Vice regardless, though. It has done something. Nano down on Normac as well, though. Is going to buy them so much space. Void Kit's still alive on the McCree, drops extremely low, and Bray is taken out. What has been a problem for them the entire night. Cryptic Force now has to take on Normac, down players. He has a nano of his own, though. This could be big. Bomb thrown into the back line as well. Can he save himself? Normac anti, and just in time, Cryptic Force is healed up to get the shatter down, and that's the reprieve they may have needed.
Absolutely. Bray trying to make it competitive, taking Cryptic down, and Cactus is going to get demicked along with Bray. Mini with the ultimate takes down Panda Games, and Baba Yaga gets the blow on the Cactus. He's not going to be able to come back in the mech. Placebo is going to get the beat out, and it's going to catch 4 members of his team. All of the surviving members are going to get that ultimate, but the Blizzard, J-Vice, he held it so well, and Placebo's going to get frozen and taken off the point. Void Kit is going to get 1 pick on a J-Vice, and Cactus is going to be able to touch, but it's all stall now for the Airstrike.
2:30 on the clock. We do see Cactus still in mech. Will get taken out. Is Cryptic Force there in time? Can Panda Games make it? Absolutely not. Kalibur are going to roll their way through King's Row. No! The ball gets in just in time. Anti-nade down. It seems inevitable for Kalibur at this point, but Airstrike are getting so much value out of the stall.
Oh, and the swap from Sheepy onto the Baptiste. That immortality keeps the Hammond up for just another few seconds, but it is going to go the way of Kalibur finally. 1:20 seconds separating the time banks of both of these teams, and I've got to say, Bray has looked so good on that D.Va on that offense. Eating that Blizzard, a huge bomb going into that. He's allowed so much room for Mini Creeper on that McCree to do so much work, and Mini has looked really strong facing off against Void Kit on those McCrees, but man, it is going to be decided, I think, by the tank line of Bray versus Cactus and the McCree lineup of Panda Games versus J-Vice. They've looked so dominant for their teams. The Blizzards have been so fast. The Eats have been so good. The space making for both of them have been so incredible. And I think we're going to continue to see the mirrored compositions as we come out here.
I'm not surprised by this. I mean, Mini, you mentioned him. Absolutely impressed the hell out of me. We haven't got to see much of him in the maps prior. He's been a little bit quiet, but now that he's on this McCree, he looks perfectly even with Void Kit. I mean, you saw the end of Point B. Void Kit found another pick with a Deadeye, but Mini's was bigger. We saw him frag out 3, 4 kills in a couple of those fights, and now they have to attack with a lower time bank, but they have the confidence that they can do it.
Absolutely, and Kalibur are going to try and roll to this first point just as quickly as that second point, and it's got to come down again to this target focus. They were so good at taking down Cryptic and so good at pressuring down Void Kit. Mini, I think, needs to be playing for that wall, and that's done.
Yeah, Cryptic Force again, stuck on his Lonesome Panda Games, barely caught out with him, which is great, because now you can go for the counter wall. In fact, it will cut off the opposing. Maybe it was massive from Manaka, finds 4, Normax swings through the Firestrike as well. That should be it for Kalibur.
Absolutely, Manaka with a fantastic anti-grenade. That is all you need. Similarly to Immortality Field, sometimes all you need to win a fight is just one anti-grenade. J-Vice with a late pick onto Void Kid, and Cryptic is taken on 2. They're going to push right through the choke point that gave them so much trouble based on the back of Normac and J-Vice's aggression.
Manaka's anti-nades have been insane. Flanks through Hotel, finds one down onto 4 members. J-Vice! Headshot onto Cactus from a mile away is going to be an even bigger stall, and in overtime, that means so much.
Yeah, that is a mean stagger coming out of J-Vice there, and Cryptic Force, not the first one to go down this time, and I think that made Airstrike get a bit too aggressive trying to get back into that choke point. They lost Cryptic last time and backed up all the way to the back corner, let their team regroup, and now it's going to come in here with the ults just fully failing.
What a work from Panda, though! Catches out 2, no kills found though. A great counter wall by J-Vice actually saves them. 3 ultimates up for Kalibur. They have everything in the tank to do this. The Deadeye from Mini, the Blizzard from J-Vice, even the bomb from Bray. Every single one of these could just end this fight. Where it stands, nothing Airstrike can really do to stop it. Deadeye buying so much space around B, breaks through the wall of Cryptic Force, but a good defense matrix will keep them alive for the time being. Nano down on Cryptic Force as well, trying to buy them space, trying to find kills. Void Kit takes out Mini. The damage potential now mitigated. Shut him down. Hits 3. Normac tries to charge through, but doesn't catch anything. An Airstrike down ultimates, down players. It doesn't matter. They're finding clutch plays left and right. Slowly bleeding out now. Kalibur, they've got to find a way back in this fight. But with every passing second, Airstrike get closer and closer to those ultimates they need to just seal out King's Row.
Oh, absolutely. You build the alt charge up there, and you don't even need the Blizzard. And I didn't... J-Vice used his Blizzard, but I didn't see it actually go out. Did Cactus eat it? Did I miss that?
I think the main died early.
He got picked using the Blizzard there. Wow, that's absolutely incredible from whoever picked him off there. I heard it go out, and I just never saw it hit the ground. That's just absolutely fantastic work coming out of, I assume, Void Kit. Could have been Cryptic, could have been Cactus, could have been Sheepy, honestly. Sheepy did get a huge Sheepy slept Mini Creeper. I need to do some conspiracy theory videos for a second to figure out where J-Vice's Blizzard went there, because that should have been the fight winner for them, and I just never saw it go down. But Sheepy, in the backline, gets the sleep onto Mini, gets the anti-nade onto most of the enemy team, allows Panda Caves a lot of room to make those walls, and then just puts the nano onto Cryptic, who hits an uncharacteristically huge shatter, takes J-Vice down there, and just won the fight for them essentially with that early aggression. Maybe it was the shatter. Did
Actually
pop a Blizzard?
He may have with the early shatter, and honestly, I've been impressed by his shatters. They haven't been like the 6-mans that you expect, but what they're doing is they're speed boosting him past the opposing shield and then finding an easy 3-man shatter on the backline. It's working out so well for them here as they load up for the first point. Keep an eye out for Panda Game's wall. Of course, the number one thing you need to be keeping an eye out for on point one of King's Row is going to be these initial walls that give such a great opportunity. Bray, in a little bit of a tricky situation, needs to get out before he goes down, tries for the wall, but not quite what he needs. Anti-nade again goes down onto Normac and 3 of his friends, but the same happens to Airstrike now as they got him by space. Voidkit though takes out J-Vice. Panda Game's down. It is free reign as there isn't a May in sight. Winter Wonderland absolutely not save these teams. Firestrike threw in another anti-nade onto Cryptic Force, so he's just under too much pressure, and Sleepy can't do a damn thing about it.
Manaka has looked so good on the Ana here. Those antis coming in, just punishing the aggression of Cryptic Force and the side of Airstrike, getting Panda Games down when they can't get healed by Sheepy there, and absolutely punishing Cryptic Force is just exactly what you need. And Mini and Manaka are both already going to have their ults going into this, but Voidkit and Sheepy are going to be following close behind.
Another fight here for Airstrike, but it's starting to get a little bit dicey as that 2-minute timer crosses over. Voidkit with the Deadeye. Another zoning ability here. Maywall up, Maywall down for Kalibur. Mini doing the exact same, and just a little bit of time taken off the clock here for Kalibur. All they need to do is just be patient with their time. Wait for the right opportunity to throw down whatever ultimates they have. Sheepy's nearing up onto his own Nano, though, as the disengage comes in from Kalibur. They want to back away to the left side of this point, get away from as much of the damage as they can. Jameson in a little bit of a dice situation. Normac, though, gets nanoed up, pushed all the way into the back line. Cryptic Force pushing forward. Normac dropped down to half HP. J-Vice has to use his wall to try and peel for his main take, but now his is in a lot of trouble as the point begins to take over the way of Airstrike. Shatter blocked from Normac. Well done by him, but he's dropped extremely low for the sound barrier again. Another shatter block from Cryptic. Absolutely nothing coming through, but Bright with an eat onto the Blizzard from Panda Games. What on earth? Every player on absolute defense mode right now. The last thing they want to do is win this fight. But with Cryptic Force getting so low, finally going down, Airstrike, they're just going to have to try again.
Absolutely, and that is just such quality tank gameplay. Normac baiting the shatter out and then blocking it, and Bray just not letting Panda Games have a single Blizzard. And Door, the expert conspiracy theorists in chat have confirmed Cryptic did stun J-Vice out of that Blizzard.
Oh my god, what an insane play. They're going to need more, though. They have to reach deep into their pockets, into their hearts to try and find this win. Chucking the bomb over from Cactus. Cryptic Force standing, waiting, threatening a shatter, but he doesn't have it quite yet. Just trying to bluff that he does. Mini, though, buys plenty more space with a Deadeye of his own. Cryptic Force and Airstrike now backing up, recognizing that they're going to struggle to push this point because Manaka on the high ground has a beautiful position to deal with anything and everything that Airstrike may want to do. In fact, he has a nice little flank route over if he even wants to go for an anti-nade of his own. Blizzard out from Kalibur, though. No eat from Cactus means that he's going to be going down. 17 seconds on the clock, and Kalibur played this beautifully.
Absolutely. Bray on that peel is looking so much stronger. Cryptic manages to block that anti going in, but man, the tank line coming out of Kalibur has looked like they put on their carry pants, really pushing in for this, not allowing Airstrike to even touch the point again. And Kalibur are going to take us up 2-1 going into halftime.
I mean, insane play out of both Bray and Mini, I think, were the two key players to watch there. The ability to make space when they lost it is something that is not easy, especially on King's Row Point A. They got pushed around the hotel corner repeatedly, but every single time they were able to peek their heads right on back out, get Normac back into the fight, and most importantly, keep him alive during all that. Big ups to Manaka being there constantly on the healing, recognizing when they needed to make a play with the anti-nade, but other than that, being extremely consistent.
Yeah, and almost 20,000 damage coming out of Mini there. Medals, of course, don't mean everything at Overwatch, but man, Mini just looked so strong in that McCree, so consistent on that point there, and that's exactly what you need to see if you're trying to match if you're trying to match Voidkit in just the extreme pop-off potential that both of them should have going into this. And we are going to be going into a quick halftime. It's going to be about 5 to 8 minutes, somewhere in that range. We will see you guys very soon to break down a bit more of what is happening in this match.
Thinking now and then they come around. Little do I know about you now. Though I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Go around the night and have some fun. Something about the way you make me feel. Everything about you can be real. I'll do anything to have you here, my dear. Winter night, the whole city's covered white. Life is boring, reassuring. The day I met you, there's nothing I want more than to be right there by your side. Moonlight, crystal skylines, cross my heart. I'll be there till the end, right there with you. Even though you'll never notice me, 'cause I'm just a street girl, crossing worlds and the
It's been a cozy 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, but no longer is it for these teams. They are back in the thick of it. Kalibur versus Airstrike, currently 2-1 up for Kalibur. Set themselves up in a very nice position, but remember, this is the first of 4. Everything is on the line, and it's Airstrike's map pick, which very interestingly is going to Gibraltar. We've seen the dive out of Kalibur, but we haven't seen anything of it from Airstrike. Bard, you've had a nice halftime. You've had some time to think. Why do you think they're going with Gibraltar?
Gibraltar it's an interesting map here. It's really heavily favored for dive. A lot of people really expect the dive coming out from either team here, and the dive didn't necessarily look bad coming out of Airstrike. I think the main difference was just Bray looked unstoppable on that Diva, but Gibraltar is a map where you can actually run quite a few comps. You can run the double shield here that Cryptic and Cactus have looked so strong on, and you can try and run Brawl to try and mix up the dive if you run it properly. But also, you can see the like heavy poke Brawl. It's very weird because you can see like a Torb Pharah or a Torb Ashe with Brawl here that puts a lot of poke and pressure on this dive while also allowing your tanks to kind of int and do the damage that Cryptic Force probably wants to be doing going into this. But Void Kit versus Mini is the matchup I want to see here. Whether it's on dive and we get to see I guess McCree's matchup, or maybe we get to see Panda and J-Vice pull out the Echo here. I'd love to see Panda versus J-Vice on an Echo, but I think what we know that we can expect is dive will be played at least once on this map. It's just hard not to.
I suspect it'll be run by both teams. My one pick here of thing to watch is obviously going to be the Echo from J-Vice. It's going to work perfectly with the dive if they decide to go with it. I mean, there's some really out there strategies other than the dive. I mean, I saw a Bastion Orisa once with the Symmetra Reinhardt, and they teleported the Reinhardt onto a high ground. It was from like a top open division team. It was a super jank strat, but it worked really well just catching the other team off guard. And while I don't suspect we'll see that kind of play, I suspect it'll probably be dive versus dive. I think the one player I can pull into question right now is going to be Panda Games. We've only really seen the Mei, and we have seen this Hanzo before, so this is a little bit promising. And ooh, some pulled pork from Airstrike? This is a new look.
I actually, you know what? I didn't even think about this. This is such a good comp to run against the dive here. It's perfect. Hog has that CC stopping potential that you get out of Sigma. He may not have that extra shield, but if you win with the burst damage, the shield isn't necessary. And the double sniper here, maybe this is just here for the initial pick actually here to help set up the double shield. But then again, I do think this is a good comp to help counter dive with the amount of burst damage and range stun potential.
Let's see if Cactus actually sticks on the Roadhog right now. No. Makes his way right back on into spawn alongside Cryptic Force. They swap all the way over to a dive. Now Panda Games on the Tracer has a lot to prove to us. He's been the May 1 trick all night. We need to see a little bit of depth out of that hero pool. Cactus hacked up and Void Kit. The focusing beam is massive. This guy can play way more than just a McCree, and that's what you got to be able to do to be an all-star.
Absolutely, and J-Vice though, countering on a Cryptic and Normac, turns it around, getting Void Kit. Panda takes down El Baba Yaga, and this fight's so back and forth. Dive, you want to win in such a convincing fashion, but losing your Brig there is going to make you so weak to Cryptic Force and Cactus.
What is Placebo doing?
I don't know.
He is in such a risky situation. How is he still alive, no less? Airstrike come in just the nick of time to keep him alive, and a very optimistic dive from Airstrike turns into something that might actually find a little bit of success. Cactus working his way through the high ground, gaining a lot of control for them, but Mini takes Void Kit out of the sky, and that's such a key pick here as the dive is just so difficult for either of these teams to track. Mini has been such a problem. Panda Games drops low, nearly hacked out on the Tracer, but they're not really gaining any room for this. Airstrike have done a lot of diving, but not a lot of killing.
Absolutely, and J-Vice just not being shut down at all on the Echo here. Echo Tracer versus Echo Sombra can work, but you have to take down the Echo or one of the healers first, and the bomb comes in. Panda Games gets Mini though. That's a huge first pick, and now they're gonna be able to push into this and put the pressure onto J-Vice and the tanks of Kalibur.
One more kill though. The way of Kalibur is great. Taking out that main tank. And J-Vice is actually going to copy over the Brigitte. Duplicate that one up. Try and get a rally online, which is great. Such an amazing fight-winning ultimate when it's dive, because these fights are already lasting so long. Get that bonus armor going and make this fight roll the way of your side. Airstrike again, just struggling. Kalibur played this beautifully.
Yeah, and Cactus really just not getting the same level of value as Bray on this Diva. Cactus hasn't looked bad on the Diva at any by any means, but he's having to spend so much of his time spy checking for Mini that he's just not building up to an ult nearly as quickly. And Void Kit, though, he is going to have his duplication online. We're gonna have to see exactly how he uses that and how it counters the EMP of Mini.
And now as Voidkit sets up the dive, I think the Echoes, again, still just a big difference maker here. Duplicate comes down onto Voidkit, trying to charge up an EMP in time. He's dropped extremely low. Primal Rage from Normac as well. He's seeing so many people up in this room. He's hacked out, but still the damage from those Monkey Fists is just so much. Voidkit finally finding Bray with that focusing beam as well. Transcendence that from Manaka, but it's not quite enough to keep his team alive for the time being. Those health bars are getting ever closer to dropping to 0. One more down, but again, Voidkit taking on the skies. That damage potential cut so low. He was able to just turn up that dive to 11 by finishing off those kills at half HP, but he can't be doing that when he's constantly being focused down by a Sombra. As we say that though, Airstrike, they found themselves a couple of kills. They're slowly winning this fight, and it looks like they might finally take over Point Alpha.
Yeah, Void Kit, he does get taken down again by Mini on that Sombra. I'd love to see the Sombra swap out here from Panda Games, but Void Kit, he duplicates the Sombra and does actually manage to stay alive while hacked on Sombra long enough to get the EMP out and get both DPS and both tanks hacked with that EMP, and that really just swung the momentum.
Oh my god. Oh, Cryptic Force nano up and he steps inside the shield. LOS is his heals. And then all of a sudden he's going to be taken down, and what looked like a great fight for Airstrike is actually going to turn immediately around.
Oh, but Normac, he's won. Joel, Void Kick is Normac! The anti from Sheepy was so good, and then Normac gets taken down by the follow-up from Void Kit. Cactus is going to be hacked going in here, but not Void Kit, and he gets another one. Panda Games takes out Manaka as well, and suddenly the DPS are coming online for Airstrike and really changing the momentum for their team here.
Void Kit's finally getting a little comfy on this Echo, and it's coming to show right now. Point Bravo pushed in record time. Ridiculous that they were able to do that without the help of Cryptic Force. Manaka, in fact, going to have to off himself alongside Baba Yaga because they got the bad spawns, which leaves their tanks open to going down. Panda Games finds another here. And this could be a massive set of staggers for Airstrike.
I don't know if this is reverse caster curse or what, but I said I'd like to see the swap from Panda Games over onto the Sombra, and then immediately just putting on the high damage potential gloves there, drinking their gamer fuel, and just absolutely rolling through Kalibur. Maybe I shouldn't commentate on Panda Games at all, because they're just gonna surprise me no matter what they do.
Airstrike, they're coming in. They've got so many ultimates though for this fight. Duplicate over Winston. Oh, Donkey Kong Country breaking out the backline of Kalibur here. Is two Winstons going at her, looking for the Primal Rage. J-Vice though counters that by duplicating over Brigitte, getting that rally armor online. Just in time though, Void Kit gets up a Primal Rage, gonna be bouncing people around while the bomb from Cactus gets over, finally connects down onto Manaka. No more ultimates in tow though for Airstrike until they get this rally online. Means this fight only gets harder for them, and the spawns are gonna continue to increase. Cryptic Force goes down the focusing beam of J-Vice, but don't fall to Panda Games, which is massive. You finally lose that kill potential, and Bray getting demexed here means that sustain is just falling by the wayside for Kalibur as they're slowly ground out of the final point of Gibraltar.
Absolutely, and Void Kit just putting on a clinic with this Echo, really building up all the momentum he needed. J-Vice getting on the Doomfist just a touch here, but oh man, Panda Games and Void Kit are just looking untouchable for that second and third point on the Tracer and the Echo, and I really think it's all momentum based. You lose those first two fights, Airstrike maybe get a little bit in their head, need to do a bit of a mental reset for that first point, but man, once they started rolling, they just never stopped, and Kalibur looked so strong in that first point defense. J-Vice looked like he had it in the bag. He was bullying Void Kit, just absolute cyberbullying, and then Void Kit turns it around, gets out of his own mental, and just completely wins that.
Yeah, if you continuously kill an AI, an Echo, is it cyberbullying because it's a robot, or is it cyberbullying because it's online in Overwatch?
I think it's a little bit both.
A little bit of both. All
We'll
right.
say it's the pun and not the pun.
I'm seeing a couple questions in here in chat though about this Echo Brigitte, and I kind of want to step in and talk about it a little bit. I got the fortunate chance to cast the Echo Flash Ops tournament when Echo just came out, and this was the predominant composition. Seeing the Zenyatta run with the Brigitte, heal isn't particularly all that important when you're running such self-sustaining heroes in dive, so having the Zenyatta for trance is great, denying a lot of the damage. The armor packs do a great job of keeping everybody alive without having to be there to target them, as well as peeling for your Zenyatta. It just offers a lot up on the table, as well as having two different ways to target, heal your Echo without having to worry about aiming at her with something like an Ana. Makes it very nice, but Airstrike are taking a different approach. They're saying, you know what, just aim forehead. Sheepy's good enough to keep J-Vice alive, or pardon me, keep Void Kid alive, and that's paid off for them so far. It's very risky though.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the armor on the Echo as they engage, the same way putting armor on a Tracer or a Doomfist, it can just provide so much extra sustain.
Oh my god, Void Kid connects all of the stickies. What on
continuing to look so good, putting the pressure on with that Echo. And Manaka, that's the downside of running a hero with so little self-sustain like Zenyatta.
Yeah, and you assume that the Brigitte is going to be able to heal, be able to armor pack, but it just happens so quickly when you throw in those sticky bombs on top of it. Airstrike stop this cart in a very, very key position as well. Void Kid, if he can continue to roll in the Echo like he has for the past couple of minutes, this is going to be great for Airstrike.
Absolutely, and that is the downside of running Zenyatta. His only real self-sustain is just killing the person fighting him, and when you get stuck with 5 sticky bombs from an Echo, you really can't win that fight regardless of if you actually do take down the Echo.
No, but Kalibur, they've done a great job of taking over this high ground. Void Kid again, though! The focusing beam, every time he uses it, it just feels like it's a guaranteed kill at this point. Panda Games as well, harassing on the Tracer Echo, another thing that we saw a lot of in the Flash Ops tournament. It's so strong, being able to put on so much pressure into the backline while allowing your core of the Brigitte Ana to just stay alive and peel for one another is so strong.
Yeah, and Tracer Echo, also a comp you see a lot of from teams like Florida Bayhem who want to run the dive like this. And normally the Tracer is supposed to be the one getting those constant first picks. It's people like Yaki. But no, Void Kid saying, no, Echo can do it. She's not just frontline pressure. I'm going to kill her whole team.
A lot of that comes down to the pressure that Cryptic Force puts on. We're going to see it here again. The counter dive, these leaps are so strong. Void Kid throws on the duplicate. Panda Games connects with a pulse bomb as well. J-Vice turns into a monkey, but my god, it's probably going to be too little too late here as the duplicated bomb comes over and connects onto a duplicated monkey. J-Vice not finding all that much value with his ultimate now. Airstrike still have 2 online, and Kalibur have to fight their way back into this. They've got the ultimates to do it, but at this point, it's all about execution from them. They've set themselves up.
Absolutely. They have the ultimates. They're going to have the bomb. They're going to have the primal. They're going to have the pulse bomb. Even just one pulse bomb pick coming in here could be more than enough to turn this fight around. But we're going to have to see exactly how Cactus tries to use his ultimate. Oh, they go in and Bray with the pull with the bomb early. The Diva Bomb used, it makes space, but it doesn't connect with anyone. And now the pressure coming down from Cryptic Force is going to be more than enough as Bray takes down Void Kid, though. Normac also using that ultimate. The monkey versus monkey. Oh, Panda Games though gets Baba Yaga. Placebo gets J-Vice, and Manaka forced to use that Transcendence, and it's not going to be enough to win this fight unless the picks start going the way of Kalibur.
No, they're running out. Panda Games connects with the pulse bomb though on to Manaka. What a clutch play there. Placebo taken down. Sheepy no longer has peel to save him, but it's already late enough in the fight that it doesn't matter. Airstrike, they're going to get their spawns in, and because of that final pick on the mini as well, they're going to have enough time to reset onto the high ground.
Yeah, and I absolutely adore the Ana here from Sheepy. There's so much heals. Cryptic Force allowed to go in and chase. That's such a brutal stagger onto Bray, and they're gonna have exactly one fight to take this now, and the ult advantage goes to no one here. Baba Yaga might be able to build up the rally on time, but that's assuming Sheepy, Void Kid, and Panda Games don't also build an ult.
I mean, this rally can be so critical. Remember that armor cuts away so much of the damage from the Winston, from the D.Va, from the Echo. All of that tick damage is just completely nullified by it, so getting that online in time is going to be so key, and they immediately pop it going into this fight. Sheepy doing everything they can to keep everybody healed up, but Normac takes down Cactus, and the Cryptic Force falls as well. The healing just isn't enough. The focus damage from Kalibur is beautifully distributed onto the Airstrike players.
Yeah, absolutely wonderfully done there from Manaka. Staying up, not getting pressured down. Some good pressure coming out from Mini onto the backlines. And both DPS get to hold on to their ults on the side of Kalibur. Whereas Sheepy, having that nano boost can be so strong with a Winston diving on someone like Monica, who's so fragile.
Oh, Voidkit goes down to the bombs as well. I was just about to say, getting a hard reset in here is so critical for Airstrike, setting yourself up with 6 players so you don't have the same thing happen to you that you just saw happen to Kalibur. They could be looking at a roll of the second point. Voidkit, though, has a duplicate online. Could be a key ultimate. Kalibur nearing up a few of their own, but already the D.Va copy comes out. No! Self-destruct in sight for him, and he's immediately taken out of that form. Cryptic Force, though, is nanoed up, diving into the back line with the Primal Rage, but it's Normac on the other end of the field, being the one to find the kills. Picard nearing the end of the point here with a one-man advantage. Kalibur is starting this fight off strong. Cactus chucks a bomb in the back line, could be big. No! But Voidkit takes down Normac, and finally, they've gotten rid of that Winston. That's been such a problem for them. A bum out from Kalibur. Again, just zoning at this point. The ultimate committed from Manaka, though, is going to be so key here. No Transcendence online for Kalibur to continue this fight, as left and right 1v1s are going on, but Mini and J-Vice are popping off right about now.
Absolutely, the DPS duo in that backline are taking down all of the pressure onto their healers, and Mini and J-Vice just continue to sweep through this point here. El Baba Yaga takes down Sheepy. The Moira swap was really good. The contest from Canada is going to continue, but the payload is now finally going to touch. And Kalibur are just working for a round 2 here. They're not going to win any of the time bank fights going into round 2, but if they can just secure a round 2, I think they have a serious chance at turning this fight around the same way they did on King's Row.
And it's all about holding all about making sure you have the players to actually take this fight, not getting picked off. Voidkit gets a couple sticky bombs, and honestly, at any point in this fight right now, if I'm taking damage, I am terrified by my Airstrike. Giving away a one-man advantage is going to be the death of you here. Bray contesting the high ground, trying to catch out Cryptic Force, trying to punish. Now Mini, though, without a recall inside, is actually in a little bit of trouble. We will see the dive probably target them next. No, it's there on the back line, but there's a rally up from Baba Yaga, perfectly timed to counter the duplicate down onto the monkey. Primal Rage is out, but the damage just isn't there because the beautiful support ultimate from Baba Yaga came online. Placebo, though, it's his turn to pop this rally the second that the dive comes out from Kalibur, and we're going to see the exact same thing happen on that end of the field.
Absolutely. Voidkit trying to put the pressure in, and the bomb's gonna come in. Oh! Voidkit not inside the shield, and Panda Game's gonna be taken down too, despite Normac going down here. This bomb has to be big or nothing is going to happen. It's just a contest game now for Airstrike. Cryptic Force managing to get his ult off, still getting pressured in the backline by J-Vice. That disintegration beam does so much work, but Voidkit comes back, takes down J-Vice, Mini crades out under Cryptic Force. Bray takes Cactus out of his mech. It's going to be real close here, but the contest is going to win for Airstrike as Kalibur have to reset for a final fight here.
Cryptic Force did an exceptional job on the Winston there. He may have gone down, but he actually made a ton of space for his team to actually come out of spawn, as well as finding the pick down on El Baba Yaga. Such a critical move.
Absolutely. This is such a fantastic showing here from both of these teams. Panda Games has to build up to a pulse bomb and get the pick here, or else with that transcendence of this pulse bomb, Kalibur are going to be able to push their way right through with no issues.
Oh, and Sheepy takes J-Vice out of the sky! The first time we've seen anything really contest this Echo, and it's the support coming up big when it matters. 2 seconds on the clock. Transcendence out from Kalibur. Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect from Mini. J-Vice coming near on the duplicate, but he's coming all the way back from spawn. Voidkit finds another end of Normac with a focusing beam, and it's all about whether or not this Echo can get in and make an impact in time, because in the meantime, Voidkit's going to be coming in on the Brigitte, making sure that he gets a rally online. No, focus down so effectively by Placebo. Bomb up from Kalibur. Can it connect? Absolutely not. Say Airstrike as they drop a bomb of their own, which again, just spacing at this point, just buying time for Cryptic Force to get in, make space. Mini finds one kill. Panda Games though finds the D-Mac, and all of a sudden, this Primal Rage from Cryptic Force looks to seal it out. Duplicate down onto the D.Va. There should be a bomb online, but it needs to be stopped right in its tracks by Cryptic Force, ensuring that this point is not taken. In fact, it will do exactly that.
Oh, Mini with a huge pulse bomb, though, 2 in this extended fight from him. Pandagames takes down J-Vice, who had already taken down Cryptic Force, and now it is the dueling Tracers as Mini takes down Sheepy. Which Tracer can go harder? Normac takes down Void Kit, and that was the damage output for their team. Cactus is going to get taken down. Normac and Mini putting on a clinic in dive heroes here, and now it looks like Kalibur is finally going to be able to clean this up. The Cryptic Force is staying alive for so long that the rally can come out from Placebo, and now they're on point. They're continuing to stall this. J-Vice finally takes him down, but Sheepy's back to keep her team alive, and finally, with the Hammond coming out for Bray, Kalibur are going to be able to take this point, but that was such a fantastic stall coming out of Airstrike there.
I mean, they bought a lot of time, but they didn't buy a win. And we see, again, Airstrike, they have an advantage moving into the second half of the game. They haven't really been able to capitalize on that, though, on maps like Kings Row. And so here, I want to see a lot more from them out of the gate. Both of these teams, in fact. They both struggled at Point Alpha. The first team to realize what they did correctly, I think, is going to come away the victor of this map.
Absolutely, and part of that is just the DPS popping off. When you dive, you need that damage to be with your tanks as they go in. It really is all about when you're running Tracer Echo or Saber Echo, it really is all about that first pick and capitalizing off of that as you continue to go in. And Pandagames and Void Kit did such a good job of that on point B and point C of their offense. But on point A, I really do think J-Vice and Mini just had the number of Airstrike on that defense. And we're going to have to see if they can manage to pull it out here. Mini pulling out the Ashe, perhaps just looking for a first pick, trying to take down Void Kit. But I'd love to see him continue to play it as a counter.
All right, the nerves are high right about now. Kalibur looking to take this one to game point. Airstrike looking to even up the score. It all matters about whether or not they can get this first point hold going. You stop that cart underneath the bridge, you might just be looking at a victory. Void Kit doing their best, playing very tentatively, very cautiously here, waiting for the right opportunity to strike, recognizing that the best opportunity for them to actually take this fight is going to be down underneath the bridge. Cryptic Force decides it's time to drop, though, and it's about to get hot and heavy in here, because that is a very enclosed space and a lot of damage from this Winston. Cryptic Force looking to fire people up, but a counter dive down onto the high ground, making sure that Kalibur don't have any control. Mini has those dynamites, but doing a great job blocking them right now. Have been Cactus and Cryptic Force, whether it's the defense matrix, whether it's the bubbles, that damage is just not going through. They're controlling the card so effectively. 6 seconds on the clock, and Kalibur, they have to make a move, but they don't have the positioning to do it. Counter dive onto the monkey. Normac drops so low here in the backline, and Cryptic Force running him down. Finally will die eventually to the damage of Cactus. The cart stopped in its tracks. Overtime beginning to tick, and Kalibur look like they might just not have it in the gas tank. J-Vice doing everything he can. It comes up big with the kill onto Placebo. That's a lot of the sustain gone out of this fight. A pulse bomb down onto Bray. He's staying alive. The support's doing a fantastic job here. Manaka doing everything in their power to keep this team up and running, but it's just not paying off. Airstrike are grinding them out one kill at a time. Sheepy back on the high ground. Both of these Anas doing such a great job of keeping them up. Cactus nearly has a bomb as well, which is going to be massive for holding on to this point, but Kalibur, they just get ground out, step off the point eventually, and Airstrike stop them in their tracks on point A.
Yeah, I absolutely think that Cactus was probably feeling the pressure going into this map from just how dominant a performance Bray was having before this. But coming into that defense, Cactus, perfect positioning, keeping Cryptic up, keeping his supports up, securing kills, absolutely just staying alive for like 4 minutes on Baby D.Va there. That's hyperbole, clearly. It's a 1 minute hold, but just gets demeched, stays alive forever, still puts pressure on the backline as Baby D.Va somehow, gets remeched, and then just comes right back in with another pick. Like, that's fantastic gameplay from Cactus, and he's really doing such a great job turning that around. However, we are going to see Kalibur pull out the double shield Ryan and Orisa kind of brawl poke comp that worked out really well from a map 1. I think this is meant to just be a hard counter pick. You try and win
they're going for the cheese.
Oh, but Oh, I have really mixed feelings about this. I don't think this is a good idea with the comp that they're running. I just think you get in there and it becomes a meat grinder. You get pressured down. Void Kit can go around the opposite side with his tanks, while Panda Games, Sheepy, and Placebo put some pressure in the front. And I think if as soon as Airstrike figure out that this is what they're doing, they're going to be able to win this fight.
We'll look for something like a Far Swap, like a Junkrat, that can throw a lot of spam damage in down here. Yes, the Echo's okay at taking off angles on this, but honestly, I suspect getting some AoE going, getting some of that bonus explosive damage is going to be massive for actually taking this fight. The card approaching, though, and it looks like Airstrike actually have no plans of changing what they're doing. They're going to take this fight, and they are going to take it in the most direct way available to them. But from both sides, this dual-pronged attack is working out beautifully. Normac dropped down to half HP, having to hold his shield the entire time, not able to play that. Bro, he was one anti-nade on to 4. Now Airstrike with the confidence push in. The health bars are low. They can't heal, but it was too slow. Placebo dropped down to 1. Finally taken out by Mini. Cryptic Force can't quite come in time. Invulnerability field as well. Kalibur look like they're going to hold on to this one for the time being.
Yeah, all Airstrike needs to do here is build ultimates and then commit the ultimates into that meat grinder. Void Kit already coming up real close to theirs. They can take over that Reinhardt and just have a 5th tank on the field for that extra damage. Mini Creeper and Manaka already have their ultimates, and J-Vice and Baba Yaga are moving very quickly to get there.
That they are 152 on the clock, looking for the duplicate. Remember, you have to be able to see the Reinhardt past his shields. Finally, he's able to, but the M-Matrix in their way is actually really scary here for Void Kit. They've got to keep him alive, and Manaka is doing everything they can to make sure that doesn't happen with the Amplification Matrix. Shivi up 85% to a nano and will be taken out of this Reinhardt form before he can really get a shatter off. Cryptic Force is in, though, with this Primal Rage, booming people all around. Shatter from Normac, though, it's 2. Blizzard as well, making sure this dive is completely unsuccessful from Airstrike.
Absolutely, and J-Vice coming in with that Blizzard at a crucial time, but now the Nano can go on to Cryptic Force on this next engagement, and the Pulse Bomb from Panda Games, if that Immortality feels even a second like Panda Games, with an early pick on Mini coming back from spawn, and now just one Pulse Bomb pick is all that they're going to need to help snowball this fight, as Cryptic does get nanoed coming into this. That's so much damage. The anti!
Nano to Cryptic, the anti is huge!
Cormac take down Panda Games before the Pulse Bomb can come out. But the Immortality field goes down, and now the adaptive circuits from Echo are going to come out from Void Kit, and they're going to build all the way up that Shatter, already frozen, but still alive, and Placebo takes down J-Vice, Mini takes down Sheepy, but man, this is going so back and forth. This might have to be one now. Mini takes down Panda Games, Cryptic takes down Manaka. It's so back and forth as Void Kit takes down Normac, and that's going to secure it, as he also takes down Baba Yaga. Void Kit going insane, Mini's 1 HP!
Oh, but only a couple members left, and there's only tanks. No healing left alive here for Airstrike. Kalibur, they may have grinded their way back into this. Mini has done a cactus again on the Mini. Diva's massive. Panda Games has the pulse bomb in his back pocket. This may be enough to push through this point. There will be a set of respawns in from Kalibur, but the ultimates are there. We see this self-destruct online, the pulse bomb. Oh, the invulnerability field is just barely there in time. Now the dive from Airstrike can't be enough. They have no control over this high ground. Cryptic Force looking to drop in, find some sort of value from this ultimate. Throwing the bomb in. Cactus can't quite get it past the cart, though. It's going to be easily deflected by Kalibur. Peeling back effectively. Void Kit looking for a pick over top. Rally as well to keep them alive. Placebo at the right time. Cryptic Force and Panda Games go down. Kalibur with a crucial set of ultimates at the final moments are going to be holding on to Gibraltar and taking away Airstrike's snap pick.
Oh, and that is absolutely on Normac with the Reinhardt positioning there, looking so strong and finding just the perfect opportunity for that shatter. As the alts were starting to build up for the side of Airstrike, they were ready to finally finish that out, and they just can't, because Normac drops their whole team to the ground and sets up for Mini Creeper to get a huge Deadeye there. And the Meat Grinder is such a risky strat, but all you need to do is win that first fight, increase the alt economy, make sure you are firmly in the lead there, and then absolutely roll through the enemy team with those ultimates. And they executed that so well on Kalibur. A great effort from Airstrike, but that is going to be Kalibur going up 3-1 in this match.
Game point now. I'm not sure how much I like that map pick from Airstrike. Obviously, they're very confident in their dive, but Kalibur have shown us time and time again that depth of hero pool is just so critical to the way they want to play. So Airstrike's map choices that are advantageous for them really start to dwindle down. And now you're stuck at game point. It should be another control map, if I'm not mistaken. Where do you think Airstrike need to take it to find themselves at an advantage?
I think they need to pick maps where that double shield composition, the Orisa Ryan, is going to be a lot harder to play. I like Ilios potentially for the dive that can be played there. Although the double shield can still be run, I like Busan, again, just for the potential of that dive. But then again, there's at least 2 control points on both of those where the double shield kind of brawl pick comp still can happen. And unless they find an answer for that, they haven't been able to shut it down at all this entire match.
Yeah, I think you want to... I mean, you mentioned you don't want to see the Orisa Reinhardt, but I want to see these teams run Brawl again. I think that's Airstrike's best opportunity. Obviously, the Symmetra cheese strat on Horizon Lunar Colony worked out for them, but I think their Brawl is strong enough to take on Kalibur. I mean, we all saw that King's Row map. It was ridiculously good. And I think it's just a matter of getting that little bit to push yourself over the edge, right? Mini has been playing out of his mind. J-Vice's May looked pretty solid, but I think Airstrike really have that consistency to be able to pull it off. And as I say that, though, we're going to be heading over to Ilios, and I suspect more dive and or double shield here.
Yeah, I think the dive's going to come out here. I can't wait to see more of J-Vice and Voidkit on this Echo. Both of them really putting on just a clinic with these heroes. And Mini staying in. We're not going to see Bing Bing come back. Mini has been doing a great job matching Voidkit on the McCree, helping shut down Voidkit on when Voidkit's playing that Echo, and really doing a great job of matching Panta games on that Tracer. Mini Creeper, known for their hit scan, known for their Reaper, but is a fantastic Tracer as well.
We'll have to see here, and I'm interested actually what map order we get. I think that matters a lot. Lighthouse, I think, is the best map in this pool for Airstrike. I think Well and or this could be very good for Kalibur. It becomes very interesting what you actually pick here. I think Ruins is the most interesting map compositionally. I think the Orisa Reinhardts probably are going to be coming out. However, Double Shield still is an option, as well as a dive being an option here. I think it's a matter of DPS as well. The May Reaper is always going to be there, looming above. The May McCree, a staple of recent time. And I suspect Airstrike, here's my guess, May Reaper, Ryan Orisa, or like a Ryan Diva to run it out. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Yeah, run it with the Lucio and the Ana. Kalibur going to take a different approach here. They want to go back to that dive they found a lot of success on.
Yeah, I like the dive coming out of Kalibur here. You can stage really well on this map. A lot of places with high pick potential, but I just don't think it's going to work running into the Brawl here. Cactus has been stepping up his game on Diva so far, and I think he's going to help challenge Bray there, and Voidkit just on the Kree is going to do so much to shut down J-Vice and Mini when they try and push in with this dive and do extra damage.
Well, let's see what happens. If Voidkit can establish himself and make sure that he doesn't get dove, he can start pumping out that damage. I think that's exactly what they want to do. They want to brawl on this point and keep their DPS alive and putting in the deeps here. Cryptic Force drops on the point, waiting for the dive patiently from Kalibur. Points unlocking just about 7 seconds, and that's exactly when Kalibur going to start their engage. Mini, though, he doesn't have a recall. He needs to be very careful about what he does next here. Slowly getting pressured off the point. Airstrike are losing ground and rapidly. Cryptic Force get taken out half health, but Voidkit on the El Baba Yaga. Massive pick onto the Brigitte, and again, that massive amount of sustain's gone, and Voidkit is back in the game.
Yeah, Voidkit back onto that McCree. Clearly a comfort pick for him, just absolutely dominating. That first pick on the Baba Yaga, they got a little too aggressive, even for a Brigitte. So much self-sustain that you can't be just 1v1ing a Reinhardt like that, especially when they have a McCree like Voidkit to back them up. And now, J-Vice coming up onto an ult. Mini's going to swap. The McCree with dive can work, but it's a little more questionable than running with Brawl. And Normac is also going to swap. So the Brawl is going to be coming out here, but with no May for the side of Kalibur.
That's a big choice to make, but J-Vice is showing us why it pays off. Duplicates over the May, looking to build of Blizzard in this short amount of time. He's being focused down though, not able to get much value, but he will manage to get it up just barely. Cryptic Force taken down for it. Kalibur and J-Vice by their side are going to be massive. Panda Games can trade one back, but there's just no way you can match the potential of that Blizzard.
Absolutely, and you know what? I expect J-Vice to actually swap over onto that Mei after their next death, but that was actually kind of a 5-head play there. Not swapping to Mei, but just swapping to Mei anyway on Echo and building up your Blizzard before Panda Games can. Just really well thought out play there. But now Panda Games is going to have this Blizzard online, so I think that's going to be the fight winner.
Well, this is a map where arguably the walls matter significantly less, so J-Vice being able to take these off angles on the Echo is so key. Cryptic Force is getting really aggressive, and what on earth are you doing all the way over there, my friend? Not quite tracking his healers correctly. Now Normac has a lot of free reign to get some ult charge in.
Yeah, Cryptic Force overextending there just a little bit. I think he felt a little too confident with Void Kit and with the Blizzard on his back, but now it's going to be 4 ults against 2, potentially 3 if Baba Yaga can build this beat up here.
Mini's already been taken out though. That threat to Cryptic Force is now gone. There's a lot of damage out of the way. Looking for a shadow right now. Normac is going to be missing. The Deadeye from above. Void Kit ends it in 1. Blizzard as well is committed to that fight though, so now Panda Games doesn't have that. J-Vice nearing another duplicate, and Kalibur are getting to that territory where 1 or 2 of these fights could be very, very scary for Airstrike.
Absolutely, but I do like Cryptic and Cactus both holding onto their ults there. Placebo is going to have the beat to counter, I assume it's just going to be used to counter El Baba Yaga's beat on the engagement, just to keep their team competitive in this fight. But the Shatter Bomb combo still online. I'm going to be looking to see if Cryptic can connect with that Shatter.
Well, let's see how they line it up. Here's the small room taken over by Kalibur, which is questionable because of the Mei here. From hitting the Crimson Force, someone gets caught inside. Shatter on everybody, though. It's huge. Peel the anti-nade after to follow up. Bomb thrown in. Won't quite connect. Airstrike can peel beautifully, but they haven't found themselves kills until now. 1 on a Mini, 1 on J-Vice. That should be enough.
Absolutely, and playing into that room, Cryptic drew all the pressure, baited out that beat there before connecting with the Shatter, which is just so much room as he cleans this up. Bray manages to take down Sheepy, but that is probably going to be the end of the game as Bray is going to get demeched and taken down, and round 1 is going to go the way of Airstrike.
Airstrike take away one of the maps that I said was questionable for them at the beginning. This is massive. If they can get it to Lighthouse on the second one, I suspect a 2-0 in the future, honestly. Kalibur, I give them a pretty decently sized advantage when it comes to well, but we're not going to see that one here. So Kalibur now have to fight through the map that I think Airstrike definitely prefer.
Yeah, Airstrike have looked really good on the Brawl tonight, but Bray continuing to just shine on that Diva, and J-Vice matching Panda Games blow for blow on the Mei here. So with this specific map, the Mei Reaper may reign supreme over the Mei McCree here. I like Sheepy staying on Ana. Those antis and sleeps are going to be really big at shutting down Mini, forcing him to use that Wraith early on. But unless Void Kit can really pop off, get some of those first picks, shut down Mini in the backline, I really do like the Mei Reaper here.
Airstrike set up. That Mei McCree has been so effective for them. It's all about having Void Kit actually connect on a lot of these shots. You know, if there's one thing he does best, it's exactly that. Drop down to 64 HP though. A lot of the health bars here for Airstrike dropping very low. They are in a dicey situation. Pushing into this Mei Reaper is so risky. Trying to cut them off. Panda Games with a wall that sets them in half, but doesn't really buy any space for Airstrike to work with. Just as Socrates says, the point's taken over by Kalibur, so every second here is just percentage the way of Kalibur. Now, Airstrike, are they going to push in? A deep dive by Cactus all the way through the point, push some people through. That's the opening Cryptic Force needs to get on top of this and open up for Void Kit to take out Mini. So much pressure relieved off of the shield as well from Airstrike, and Cryptic Force is more than happy to take that and make it a shatter on the 4.
Oh, Cryptic and Void Kit managed to build their ultimates in less than an entire fight, both of them looking fantastic. Now Normac is going to have his Shatter to trade for this next fight. The Panda Games is coming up on that Blizzard, and if they can build it on time, and if Bray doesn't eat it, that's going to be so huge at cordoning off the entire point for Airstrike.
PP as well with the Nano can buy space from Cryptic Force. The second that engagement comes in, they can peel it right on back here. Kalibur in a bit of a slippery situation. Shatter immediately down, lands onto 3 as the damage going to fall. No, the Blizzard eat from Bray is beautiful. Perfectly timed. Now nothing in the pockets of Airstrike to really do much of anything. Mini though frozen up, taking down a Nano Mei actually. looking to do a lot of work on point and actually buy a lot of time for them. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, for Airstrike to really bring this one back.
Oh, but Void Kit's alive. He managed to take down Normac. And now, Placebo taken down by Mini Kit. Mini does take down Cactus. Void Kit takes down Baba Yaga. The McCree is still alive here. Cryptic Force, though, immediately shut down upon coming in. And that is probably going to signal the end of the fight as Void Kit also dies. Void Kit and Cactus have the bomb, but both support ultimates and the Reaper Death Blossom are online for the side of Kalibur. And Normac, this time around, is beating Cryptic Force in the build for that Shatter.
It is 70% to 30%, but the bomb, the Deadeye, everything's online. Void Kit historically has been massive with them. Pops it early, gets walled off, drops down, speed boosted in. Normac to be in a world of hurt, and yes, he is! Deadeye connects onto one somehow yet again. Stunned out of, I think, oh, Manaka got the Coalescence canceled there in a massive pick. Mini is well willing to get the teleport back on. Yes, just in time. Saves his own life, but it's too little too late as Airstrike come up big. Panda Games well, connecting onto a couple more kills here, and a fight won without having to commit all that much.
Absolutely, still holding on to the tank ultimates here as Sheepy is coming up on a nano as well. And Panda Games, 85% to a Blizzard. That's probably going to come on online during the next fight here. Mini Creeper and Normac are going to have to combo beautifully for this next fight to go the way of Kalibur.
Exactly, they are here. Panda Games nearing up on the Blizzard that could end it all, but Bray's found a number of eats tonight. One more could turn the tides in favor of Kalibur here. Wall out, disconnects the Diva away, which is a lot of damage. A very scary Cryptic Force uses that Shatter to peel. Blizzard is well, but Bray at the end of the day is gonna be the one finding the kills. That was in the backline. Placebo finds the poop on a J-Vice. What is going on all around here? The ultimates seemingly don't matter, but Void Kid zoning with the Deadeye beautifully here. Buys so much space for Airstrike. It actually separates away a lot of the players of Kalibur.
Absolutely, that Blizzard was used so well. Blizzard seemingly, usually thought to be a fight-winning ultimate, but you can use it for zoning just as effectively as you can use Deadeye. And now the stall coming out here from Kalibur, trying to get back on point. The Blizzard used off of point is not going to help them stay alive on point, especially as the beat comes out for Placebo. And it looks like Airstrike are building their way towards a map win on Ilios. Bray has to touch the point, but the wall is so good, and Bray can't touch. Oh, the forced C9 coming out from that wall. Bray tries to peel for that health back and get back on point, but Panda Games just builds a wall up in his face and says, haha, you can't fly for another 3 seconds. You can't touch my objective.
And I've got to say, that's exactly how I expected this to go. I expected Airstrike to take Lighthouse very readily. This brawl is just too much to handle. The Mei from Panda Games, I feel like, has been slightly better than that of J-Vice over the course of the night. And so when it comes to Lighthouse, it's fairly clear. However, when it was in Ruins, I think that was really what told the whole story. Airstrike had to overcome the dive of Kalibur if they wanted to win, and they finally gotten past that demon. They're still at game point. They're still not out of the woods yet, but Airstrike are starting to figure out how to play against this Kalibur team that have been so threatening.
Yeah, Airstrike with Void Kid on that McCree and Panda Games playing just a ferocious Mei really do look a lot stronger on the brawl here. So I think Kalibur's map pick here is probably going to reflect the fact that they've looked stronger on that double shield comp, and they've looked at least comparable on the dive here. They are going to pick Eichenwald. We're going to go into Eichenwald still with Mini Creeper in, it looks like. So it looks like that defense, they do want to try running either that Reaper or that McCree, and I do expect a lot of double shield is going to be coming out, especially on that first point defense for Kalibur.
Yeah, and I suspect, obviously, the double shield for Kalibur. I actually think Airstrike are going to be running the same double shield. I think they're going to opt for the Sigma Orisa. We've seen them play it beautifully on maps like Horizon Lunar Colony, and seeing them break it out here would be something nice to see, especially since you're going to struggle to deal with something like an Echo out of J-Vice if it is ever present, allowing your hit scan to have that kind of relief of pressure to kind of deal with that with your double shield, and of course Void Kit capable of hitting the shots. It could be a good map for either of these teams. I don't think it was particularly well or badly chosen by Kalibur, more so just something that's a little bit comfortable for both of them to play on. And as well, I do want to point out, they subbed in Pyro for Manaka.
Yeah, I like Pyro coming in here. I think he had a bit of a I don't know what the excused, can't remember what the excused rule is. Not playing as much of this map. This is his first map, I believe, coming in, if my memory serves. But Pyro is a fantastic Zenyatta, a really strong Ana, and I would not be surprised if we also saw some Moira coming out of him, which we could also be seeing. Yeah, there's the Zenyatta for Pyro, and El Baba Yaga is going to go onto that Baptiste. So they do want to run the double shield with the Zen Bap, and I really like this from them. J-Vice onto that Hanzo, and Mini Creeper onto that Ashe, and that is just going to be so much shield break. Cryptic Force and Cactus are going to run, it looks like the Rhine Sigma double shield, maybe expecting these high damage comps coming out, but that's just so much burst damage and shield break for the side of Kalibur. It's going to be a clear difference maker.
I mean, I'm expecting big things here from Airstrike. I think there's a battle of hit scan, and actually Voidkit is swapped off of the Ashe, which is interesting. I thought it was going to be a key player, whether or not the Dynamites would be connecting, but they want to run full aggro. They want to run this Reinhardt Sigma and get up and in the face of Kalibur, and it's all a matter of being able to close that distance. If they can get in, they can avoid the Dynamite, they can avoid those Hanzo picks from distance. That's going to be how they win this game, because the second those Maywalls come out, it's going to be critical. They make their way up into the high ground. What an amazing adaptation to deal with the double shield here. They have so much precedence over this point right now. Just wait for your May cooldowns to come back offline, and you have a fantastic angle to start actually putting pressure down. Dynamite comes up, and you know what? Airstrike, they can just wait that one out.
Absolutely, but Placebo gets picked by Bray on the retreat, and now, without the Lucio, it is going to be really hard for Airstrike to stay in this fight. They're going to try and retreat here, but that's just going to be so much damage and ult percentage built up for the side of Kalibur before Airstrike can really do anything in this map.
And now Airstrike sent right back to their spawn. That pick on the place was huge. Oh my god, Voidkit drops extremely low. Going to be taken right back up. Luckily, though, not another pick. Still plenty of time on the clock. Airstrike doing a good job of getting out without feeding over too much ultimate charge. You see Mini already 80% up to the Bob. J-Vice already 70% to the Dragons. And that pull Dragon combo in itself could just end this fight in favor of Kalibur. It's just a matter of time at this point before they get it online. Airstrike still unable to close this distance right now, working their Reinhardt forward, but the Sigma Shield is just not the same as the Orisa right about now. Holds into the Gravitic Flux. What a combo by Kalibur, as well as the Dragon Throw on top for good measure. Oh my god!
Oh no, that's two ultimates traded, and Placebo gets the beat out, mitigates the damage, really stops anyone from getting picked from Bray's Gravitic Flux there, but it does not matter. J-Vice with a perfectly placed Dragon just immediately wins that fight for his team, and now Cactus can be going on to that Diva, and this is going to give them a lot more speed, but J-Vice takes down Panda Game. He looks so dominant on that Hanzo, and the range, like you said, Voidkit just does not have the range on McCree to contest the Ashe Hanzo combo.
And they're trying so hard to nullify this double shield, but the fact that they haven't run the Orisa Reinhardt all night really starting to worry me right now. That would be a perfect opportunity to just shut this down and close that gap a little bit more reliably without getting picked, but they can't do that. They finally made their way onto point, but they're antied up. Dynamite connects onto everybody as well. All the health bars dropping so low, they don't get a reset, and Placebo falls yet again here. J-Vice has been playing insane.
Yeah, J-Vice and Bray are just looking like a force to be reckoned with. Unless one of them can get heavily shut down by the enemy team, there's just not going to be any room for Airstrike to move in at all. And something has to change here. Panda Games only 65% to an ultimate here on maybe the entire round. Cryptic finally has a Shatter. Voidkit finally has a Deadeye online, but how exactly are they going to be able to actually push past these double shields to be able to use either of those ultimates?
Well, the Bong is online. That makes pushing all that much harder. The Dragon as well. They're coming in from one point. The Halt doesn't connect. They've somehow magically avoided two ultimates just by being quick about it. But the Deadeye from Voidkit can create a lot of space. Sheepy's Nano can allow Cryptic Force to live a lot longer than he would otherwise. If they're going to win it, they have to win it now. Airstrike coming up big. Cryptic Force looking for the right Shatter. Transcendence down and out here from Pyro. A big tool taken away, as well as the Bongo now gone. Cryptic Force nanoed up, but behind shield, he can't get too aggressive because he's going to LOS his heals if he's not careful. Mini has Bob for the point sustain as well. The last ultimate to maybe have a say in this fight. Dynamite doesn't really connect from Mini, and Kalibur is precedent over this point. Slowly but surely running out lead onto Panda Games. Blizzard is massive. Now they have so little to work with. Airstrike have to go in. The sound barrier as well. They're trying to grind it out, but up against double shield is just so difficult.
Absolutely. Bray with a huge pick there, taking down Panda Games and eating the Blizzard coming out there. Bray, though, antied in one, and Cryptic Force is going to capitalize, pushing in. Normac can go down as well, and they are able to force them off the point long enough to capture. They are playing for a win now. They're no longer playing for a draw. And Mini Creeper takes down Panda Games with this swap onto Tracer. I hope it stays because that's going to be so much backline pressure that's going to allow for space to be made by their tank line. Panda Games and Void Kit really have to step it up here to counter J-Vice and Mini Creeper. But Cactus, that swap onto Diva made space, and Bray forced to use a lot of his utility just to shut down one DPS at a time.
Although Panda Games back on the Tracer, trying to harass these DPS oppositions, but the high ground is completely inaccessible for Airstrike. They can throw a Div up there, but it really can't do that much considering that there's so many hit scans on the side of Kalibur to really deal with it. A couple of ultimates on board though for Airstrike. Note that this should be a decent fight. J-Vice caught out way too far forward right about now. Gets thrown a juice box by his Brigitte, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Sheepy as well finds an early pick here. And this is exactly what we want to see from Airstrike. The Bongo thrown out from Kalibur. They're using it to appropriately pressure down Cryptic Force, but they're not finding the space that they need. A great disengage from Airstrike. Nets a kill onto Mini as well. And slowly but surely, Kalibur being bled out by a composition that wasn't really meant to sustain.
Pyro turns around and just takes down Panda Games, but the Shatter is going to be huge coming out of Cryptic Force, and the Nano is going to give him the damage to take down Pyro before that Immortality Field can come out. Bray forced to back up a bit. J-Vice and Mini Creeper coming out of spawn, though. They get joined together. Void Kit trying to ult to keep his team in this, but it's not going to matter. J-Vice comes out of spawn on that Hanzo and says, all right, you picked me first. I'm going to kill your entire team. Oh, what a play by the Hanzo there. And Mini Creeper's going to have another Bob. Bray is going to have the Gravitic Flux. And they have the BAP window that's going to be so much damage for just to be countered only by Cactus's bomb and Panda Games' Pulse Bomb. And the Blizzard, the window is going to come out first, and the Pulse Bomb's going to be missed. Oh, no.
Oh, Placebo again! 30 seconds on the clock. Airstrike, you have to recuperate your loss. You have to come out and leave as soon as possible. If you lose another player right now, it is game over.
Yeah, Placebo really getting outshined by Pyro on that main support. Pyro coming in for his first map and just looking absolutely incredible, backing up J-Vice with those Discord orbs. And there it is. That's the
no
from the Sigma. The beat's going to come down late. Panda Games and Void Kit are going to turn this around. They're taking down Mini and El Baba Yaga. Pyro's
2 big kills.
Independence.
Now the dive in though. Cactus doing a great job healing for Cryptic Force right now, taking J-Vice out of the equation, making sure that Hanzo isn't dealing damage. Yes, you get the D-Mech, but it doesn't matter. You stopped your main tank from taking all of that Storm Arrow damage.
Void Kit almost pulled off the map there. That could have been enough to help bring this back on the recontest, but the entirety of the enemy team is going to be alive. Bar Cactus being out of mech, and now Cryptic with the Shatter. He manages to body block the Bob, and it's just Bray on point. The Dragon is good from J-Vice, and now Mini Creeper with the Bob. Oh, no. Oh. Mini Creeper with the Bob is able to shut down that push. It's so strong. Mini Creeper, oh, just trying not to be outshined by J-Vice there, gets a triple kill to secure the point there.
And a nice recontest from Kalibur. They knew they had the Bob. They knew they had a guaranteed set of ultimates to come in for the Dragon from the opposite side. Airstrike got completely blindsided by it, but I've got to say, significantly better than the full hold that we were looking at from the start. So it's definitely winnable for them.
Oh, absolutely winnable here. And we've seen a number of full holds on Eichenwald at all levels this season. This is going to be really interesting. Even just getting a tick on this first point can be really hard depending on what the enemy team is running. And Cryptic and Cactus have showed a really strong double shield in earlier matches, and it looks like they are going to run Brawl. Not exactly what I would have liked to see coming out of them, but I think they're just trying to enable Void Kit and Panda Games on this Maycree here.
And I like this pick, actually. We see the Far Mercy from J-Vice and El Baba Yaga. And unless Voidkit can find a way to deal with this on his own, which granted, he's an insane McCree. If anybody can do it, it's going to be him. It's going to be difficult, though, for Airstrike to really run back into this. They're going to be running into a lot of damage, and as Brawl, you have no choice but to run into it.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Cactus and Voidkit here. If Cactus can put the pressure down onto the Pharmacy while Voidkit secures the kill, they are going to be able to win a lot of these fights with just the Brawl alone, but we're going to have to see how that works as they take this first engagement.
And it's now when they realize that it's all up to Voidkit to deny this damage. They see the damage boosted far up in the sky. They realize the threat that's coming at them. The shields are getting taken down. So the health bars, then engagement though quickly. Bray drop down to no HP, and they're gonna get a kill out of it. Mini and J-Vice both fall one after another, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Airstrike, they gotta get aggro. They gotta brawl.
Yeah, J-Vice gets resurrected here, and that's going to be a lot of their spam damage potential back in this comp. But there's no shields to really spam. And the Ash Dynamites aren't getting any value on this offense with the speed from Placebo. They have to try and get this first pick again if they want to push in here.
That they do. They've been pushed off of the corner. They want to hold Voidkit, now take it out. Airstrike, this first hold slowly crumbling as now Panda Games is pushed out of position by a great concussive blast from J-Vice up in the sky. Now Cryptic Force under so much pressure. Cactus finds an early pick on a Bray though. This could net them enough time to reset. Great Amp Matrix though buys a ton of space for Kalibur to work with. Airstrike smartly disengaging, nanoed up the right, and the Shatter lands on him too. The follow-up is there. Airstrike has played this brawl amazingly.
Yeah, Airstrike really understand how to counter this Pharmacy here. You don't always have to get the first pick on them. Sometimes it's better just to hold W into the team when there's only 4 people there. Force that Pharah to really not want to play the sight lens that she has to support her team there, and then get those early picks by out-brawling these double shield tanks.
They've got a couple ultimates to win this one. They've got the Blizzard online, but there's still a barrage looming ever-present above as well. The Critic Flux, that's been huge before. Look for the Hulk combo. Oh no, J-Vice can't quite find a kill. He drops a lot of health bars low. The Blizzard thrown out from Airstrike, and it looks like it's going to be enough to win them another fight.
Absolutely, Airstrike looking so strong here. The follow-up may be there. Mini Creeper does manage to take down Panda Games. It looks like they're going to want to engage on the back of this Sigma ultimate, but the High Noon from Voidkit is going to space the enemy team out so much, and the beat from Placebo is going to be more than enough to survive the Sigma ultimate, but Mini Creeper does use the Dynamite to get the first pick, the second pick, 2 for Mini Creeper as they push into this, and it looks like they may now take the first point.
And with this, the first point going over to Kalibur. Airstrike, it's now or never. Cryptic Force, I'm looking at you. You felt defeat in finals once before, and I can tell you, you do not want to feel it again. It is the time, if there ever was one, to clutch out 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the time that they need to hold this cart at Point Bravo if they want to see another map.
Absolutely, and they're going to keep the brawl here for the ultimates. That Diva Bomb can put so much pressure once both shields are down, and all they need to do is catch Pyro or Mini here for these first fights if they don't take down the tanks first.
She'd be beautifully placed on the high ground, though. Can find a good anti-nade. Join to decide to help out their own team. Normac caught out way in front of his team. Shadow from Cryptic. That's going to end it. 5 people on the ground. Invulnerability field be damned. That's a fight win for Airstrike.
Absolutely. 2 ults committed there. And Panda Games really needs to build up a lot faster towards that May ultimate. It is going to be a fight winner, or at least a full staller for their team, but now the Amp Matrix comes out and the wall to mitigate it. The Kalibur have to push around it to get on the point.
Oh, Cryptic Flux again, though, from Bray. It will find Cryptic Force. They can put up the damage. He could be going down. He's so low, but Panda Games trades one back on a Mini, who is caught way far forward. These flanking DPS from Airstrike have gotten so much value. Panda Games, it's so accurate with these icicles as well. Airstrike pulling fights out of nowhere regardless of the ultimates that Kalibur have in their pockets.
Yeah, and this is where Brawl beats Double Shield, when you have to push in, when you have to engage. Winning that first fight on the back of the Nano Shatter was everything that Airstrike needed, because now the Kalibur side has to try and push through this Brawl composition with Double Shield, where Brawl can just hold their ground and walk right through those shields to push in here. And now the Nano is going to come out, and Cryptic is going to build through another Shatter.
Bob out from Kalibur, the Dragon as well. Sound barrier beautiful from Airstrike. Cryptic Force drops low. They're still down one member. The Shatter has to be perfect from Cryptic Force if he wants to win this game. Only hits straight into the shield though, doesn't find anything. Voidkit maybe with the dead, I can pull this one back. Cryptic Force still alive, but the Dynamite from Mini is massive, slowly grinding this one out. 3 versus 3 remaining on point, and Cryptic Force doesn't have any real heals to work with. Now he has literally no heals to work with. This Placebo falls, and Kalibur gonna push this card up to the bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. Cactus stalling on point, giving his team time to move back into this and get into a position to contest again at only a minute and a half needing to be held here. They do have the Blizzard coming online. They do have the Deadeye in soon. This is fully winnable for Airstrike coming into this next fight.
Oh, I love this. They're pushing the high ground. They want to take the Ash off. They want to take away the ability to throw in those free dynamites, and that is such a good choice. Voidkit now with the Deadeye up on the high ground. Maywall in his way. Everything stopping him. But in the value,
They're not going to be able to touch the objective points. They have to get up right now. Placebo.
Placebo just in time. The anti-nade lands down onto 2, the boom off the map, and there goes J-Vice. Placebo. What a huge pick just in time. The kills rolling over the feed. The Airstrike turning the kill feed to red and just barely hold on to their victory hopes.
Oh, Airstrike, you can't play with my hearts like that. They were so close to a classic Charlie Niner trying to outbrain themselves. Panda Games forced to commit the Blizzard there and not catching anything. And now the ult advantage looks like it is actually going to be going in the favor of Airstrike still. They're going to have the beat and the bomb coming online here with Bray swapping over to Brawl with Normac. This is going to decide it, this one fight, whether or not they can build these ults on time.
Placebo, just once, you're not allowed to die first. It's playoff hopes on the line, and a perfect wall from Panda Games should net them a pick, but they're not able to find the damage. Freezing up for Zarya. Cryptic. Through Airstrike, 8 seconds on the clock. They've done it. They're playoff hosts alive. They want to take this one to the 7th map.
Oh, we are potentially going to see 7 maps as Airstrike.
The hell do you mean potentially, Bard?
Potentially, sorry. Airstrike make this 3-3. I don't know what I just saw there. Everything and more was in that match. That map. We saw potential C9s. We saw dragons getting 3Ks with no grabs necessary, no halts even. We saw huge beats coming out to save fights there. We saw Bob aim hacking because that's all Bob can do. We saw Bray eating more blizzards. This man never stops eating blizzards. We saw Cryptic Force finally playing out of his mind on that Reinhardt. There was just nothing that you don't want in this game. There's just everything.
And we talked about it at the beginning of the match. It is the individual skill of Airstrike versus the pure, non-stop, perfect coordination of Kalibur. And right now, it is neck and neck. Many people before today thought Kalibur were going to sweep this one away. Airstrike is coming to show us that with heart and with pure, raw determination, you can take away games from even the best. And you know what? For our final map, it looks like we might be headed over to Dorado. So there's some really interesting stuff to break down here, right? You can run the dive, you can run the Pharah, you can run the double shield, you can run the Orisa Reinhardt, you can run the Brawl. This is where it comes down to comfort. Can Airstrike pull out? And what do you think Kalibur are going to be pulling out?
There's just anything could come out here. I'm still fully mentally recovering from that last map. I really expected a C9 there, and my brain needs to do a reset. Cryptic feed. Okay, I'm back. I really expect Cryptic to want to put his team back on this Brawl. He looks really comfortable on the Reinhardt. Cactus looking just improving all night on that Diva. I think a lot of members of Airstrike had some slow starts, Void Kit and Cactus especially, who are just fully bringing it back, looking absolutely incredible going into this. Cryptic looking good on that Reinhardt, so I expect the Brawl coming out of them. Kalibur, though, they've looked good on dive tonight. They've looked good on double shield tonight, especially with that Orisa Reinhardt. The only thing I think Kalibur have looked just weaker than Airstrike on is Brawl. So I think Kalibur are fully going to want to try and run this dive, set it up on these first 2 points, and I think it would not be too remiss here to expect double shield from them as well.
We'll find out here. The players, the nerves have to be getting to you. Everything's on the line. Airstrike have fought back map after map after map. It's been Kalibur in the driver's seat all night outside of when it was on Airstrike's turf on Horizon Lunar Colony. but every single game has had to be the most obscene of efforts from Airstrike. Kalibur have looked dominant, unshaken in the face of anything that this team has to offer. And honestly, I'm not sure how I expect them to be able to do that map after map, right? You can do it once, you can do it twice. Asking for the same level of clutch a third time is just ridiculous. But if they want to win, they have to do it.
Absolutely. And I really think that that's when Airstrike have looked their best. That's when they've looked their best tonight, has been just in the clutch. Void Kit in OT multiple times on multiple maps has pulled out 3Ks and 4Ks just out of nowhere, pulling them out. He's just like pulled off his shoes and kind of shaking them out, and rocks that are actually 4Ks have just fallen out at the end in these OTs. Panda Games and Cactus have come up so big with ults out of nowhere in these end of map fights. And Cryptic Force, I don't think this man has ever fed less than in that last map when his tournament point was on the line. Just absolutely taking us to a map 7, just indomitable, the man. But Kalibur, I said it at the beginning of the game. I said it before the match started. I said it when we were warming up the chat. Consistency is going to win this match. And Kalibur have looked the most consistent. I like Pyro staying in here. I really, really love the fact that we might be seeing more Bap Zen with this double shield. They've looked so strong with it. And J-Vice and Mini. J-Vice and Mini Creeper have looked so good. They looked fantastic on that Hanzo Ashe. They looked so good on the May McCree. They looked so good on the dive heroes with that Echo and that Tracer and that Sombra. I really do think this is going to be just absolutely a show of dominance from both of these teams to show exactly how well they can play around the strengths of their team and the weaknesses of the enemy team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, everything we've waited for, everything you guys have been watching tonight, thank you so much for sticking around. This is what you wanted to see. Map 7, both teams at game point. Winner of Dorado is taking home the Discord tier championship. And you know both of these teams are thirsty. Cryptic Force has been denied it once and will not again. Same with Bray. Both of these players fighting for redemption after last season's awful defeat versus the hand of Commit. Only one can come out on top, and we're going to see Kalibur come out on the double shield. Orisa Reinhardt, May Reaper. What do you think about this one, Bard?
The first thing I think is that this map is technically drawable. I would love to see it. I think we could set a number of records here if we did. This is going to tie with a map 7 game last season for the longest finals in
almost connects.
Oh, and they do the pulled pork. I like them looking for this first pick. I really do think it's going to come down to the fights between the support lane, though. Placebo getting early picked a lot last map, and the Brawl's going to come out. I think Airstrike are going to be able to capitalize on this.
Oh, here they come. This Brawl already out. Cryptic Force is in there, and he's in there deep, feeding his brains out, but doing the best to find value while he does it. Invulnerability field now out. Kalibur peeling back. They need to get this Reaper in, but it's so difficult when Panda Games is placing these balls perfectly. Normac cut off half HP, but so is Cryptic Force. Now it's his turn. Great anti-nade, though. Down onto 2 from Sheepy. Bray finds Cryptic Force, though. Finally pressured out, and Kalibur should be taking the fight immediately after this, but Normac falls as well. Bray dropped to 1 HP, but just barely keeps himself alive.
Oh, Baba Yaga with the late pick, and J-Vice is going to stagger Cactus as well. Whatever time they were going to get to regroup with Normac and Spawn is going to be completely removed with those late stagger picks. And Cryptic Force and Normac are point for point percentage-wise building up at the same rate, but Panda Games, oh, I love this swap onto the Pharmacy. The poke damage and splash is going to be so good against the double shield. But the May wall is going to be so good against Cryptic Force. And Normac is going to hit the charge. And now, oh, the Anti gets 4. Oh my god, this fight is just going back.
Oh, the one pick onto Lucio. That's huge.
Oh no. The splash
they can't disengage anymore from Cryptic Force. They're stuck in this room. All there is damage in their face. Panda Game's waiting for the right opportunity. Go down, drop to the ground. will start putting in those rockets. So much damage in here. It's only a matter of time before Airstrike are able to grind them out of his room, and vulnerability field down. Cryptic forces Shatter, finds 3. Blizzard though freezes them up. He's nanoed though, so he stays alive. Void Kit and Panda Game are putting in so much damage in the meantime though, and Airstrike break open the spawn hold that granted did buy a lot of time.
Absolutely. Cryptic Force again coming up in the clutch there, hitting the Shatter before getting frozen by that Blizzard. Takes down all of the damage that was supposed to follow up onto him, and then there's nothing that Kalibur can do but die to Void Kit. And now Void Kit and Panda Games have these ults to be committed, the damage to be done to counter out these tank ultimates.
So Mini's back on the McCree. It's actually one of those difficult maps to actually shut down a Pharah with a McCree on. So they're engaging with Bongo here. They're going to be putting a lot of damage onto Cryptic Force. He actually finds Panda Games early. 2 shots in. Resurrect will come out, pick him back up, but you're still down a main tank here. It shouldn't really matter. It's so difficult for him to get value now that he's been pushed out of the sky.
Yeah, and regardless of the ult or not, this is where you want to see the swap coming back out of Panda Games. You've got the room to play in and move around, but no, he has the ult. I think he wants to take these off angles, and if he can get 1 or 2 with that barrage, or even just take down the shield so that Cactus can get some value with that bomb, either of those options are going to be more than enough.
Barrage in the face of danger, dropped very, very low here. Gonna be playing a bit of a ground Pharah, which I think is smart up against Mini. You know those shots are gonna be coming out. Bomb dropped into the back line here. Cryptic Force doesn't have the shadow to back it up, but it will find one anyways. Mini down, free reign of the skies given over to Panda Games. That's a massive pick. These rockets are gonna be doing so much damage. Shatter out from Normac, but it doesn't really connect on anything. Invulnerability field now out. Panda Games free to put in all this damage. Anti-nade as well from Sheepy. Just means this fight's rolling right the way of Airstrike.
And I promise I'm not biased, but I love seeing the Pharah gameplay come out here, taking down Pyro, and now Baba Yaga is going to get cleaned up. The Lucio dying last as per usual, and this is good enough for Kalibur. It's a good hold, and they are going to respawn. It looks like everyone but Baba Yaga are going to respawn in the close spawn, so they're going to be able to set up. They're not going to get rolled right through here on this second point. And this is a really good point for Double Shield. You can set up on these corners really effectively, mitigate a lot of that damage coming out from the enemy team. And Cryptic Force, Sheepy, and Void Kit all going to be having ults online, but Vice,
Look at them going to the high ground, though.
They need is one good Blizzard.
They've got 4 members making their way up, and Kalibur going to take this opportunity to rotate down and push onto the supports. Cryptic Force can't get there in time to save the rest of his team. This should, by all means, be Cactus taken down immediately. Sleepy trades it out, though, for the McCree. And now, it's a battle of the maze here. Who can get value? Void Kit putting shots in, putting down the flashbang. Cryptic Force dropped low, no support inside to keep him alive, but he gets a nano just around the corner, just in time. He's frozen up, though. He has no room to work with Bongo as well. We've completely played Ring Around the Rosie here, and Kalibur getting the best of them. J-Vice walled off. A little bit of a tricky situation, but they're completely surrounded. Cryptic Force takes out Normac. Sheepy down, no support for this Reinhardt, but somehow Airstrike has figured out through all the chaos exactly how to take this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. They forced Kalibur into a situation where there wasn't any clear pathing for them to get out there, and they just disrupted so much with Cactus coming back and with Void Kit and Panda Games really just sitting on Cryptic Force. The disrupt was there to split the entirety of Kalibur and really capitalize on that. Really good from them. And the bomb back online again as Void Kit is going to be having that Deadeye again.
3 ult up for Kalibur, though. They've got the Blizzard, most notably here. Watch for an eat from Cactus. It'd be the first one we've seen all night, but the most important one we've seen all night here. J-Vice looking for the right opportunity to throw it in as Airstrike play patiently around this amplification matrix. Deadeye from Void Kit for once doesn't find any value, but does net them a lot of space. Looking for the Blizzard still right now is J-Vice, just waiting for the right opportunity. Buying time on this card right now. Mini still on the high ground, being dueled out by Void Kit. Shatter hits onto 3 though from Normac. Cryptic Force with the counter charge onto J-Vice before he can throw down the Blizzard. In fact, Wembley was throwing down the Blizzard again. Shut down just like King's Row. This could be what Airstrike need to make their way back into this one. Swinging through, Cryptic Force doing everything in his power. He's got another nano, and they're gonna make it all the way through point B.
Cryptic, I don't know what possessed this man. He said in match chat that he ate some chicken nuggets. Those chicken nuggies, man, they must have been laced with gamer fuel because this man has looked so insane on these last few maps, pulling out his signature Reinhardt. And in the maps that Airstrike have won or have been winning, Cryptic really has been having a fantastic game, and he's already coming up on another Shatter, and Panda has another Blizzard already.
Look though for Bray to try and get another eat, and J-Vice goes down again! 40% on the man. Cryptic Force swinging through. Normac down so low. Bray has a bomb to try and peel here. He's going to have to use it. Can it find any kills? The question. Absolutely not. Buys Normac a little bit of space. Mini's going to be using another zoning Deadeye as well, but none of these ultimates finding any value. No, Cryptic Force goes down!
Oh, Cryptic, he gets a little too aggressive with the Deadeye still up, and it gives just enough room for Kalibur to come all the way around. They held on to the Blizzard, though, and they still have the Shatter Bomb combo, and now, unless Normac and Pyro can build an ult real fast, there's nothing left to really counter any of these ultimates for Airstrike.
The pressure is mounting here on Kalibur. They can feel these finals slipping out of their hands. Great anti-nade down onto a couple, but the Blizzard not eaten by Bray for once. Normac
and there's
should
no
be
shield.
Next, the combo. Cryptic Force has a shatter to end it. All three ultimates still in the bank for Airstrike, as well as Bray taken out of the mech here. 30 seconds on the clock. Is going to be a nice little time bank if they can seal this one out. Void Kit looking to use this Deadeye to maybe just end this one out. Cryptic Force, what are you doing? What are you doing? Crouched outside the door. He could end it.
Oh, but they don't touch. It doesn't matter.
Nothing found. 19 seconds on the clock. Airstrike keep their finals hopes alive.
Oh, absolutely fantastic gameplay coming out there from both sides. Only 19 seconds on the clock for Airstrike, though. They are going to have a second round to play regardless because they got it all the way there. And if they can manage to hold Kalibur here, this is going to be a fantastic turnaround for Airstrike. This is just so close.
Now we're set with the difficult task of what do Kalibur run on attack here. We've seen their dive all night. We've seen the double shield. We've seen the brawl. It's all been sufficient. But right now, Airstrike look like a team unhinged. So difficult to defeat, but Kalibur have to draw it back after map of Airstrike shutting them and their perfect team play around. Can they pull it back, and how do they want to do it?
Absolutely, and for Kalibur, this has to come down to J-Vice and Mini Creeper. Pyro has been so good with these anti-grenades. He's come in and he's looked really strong on this main support role. But if no one is there to follow through, to capitalize on these antis, then nothing can get done by his entire team. And if Pyro pulls out the BAP here and stays on it, that Immortality Field might just be exactly what Kalibur need to stay in the engagements in this brawl comp a lot longer.
Map 7 here. The pulled pork doesn't connect. What are they going to swap to? Big question here. It's just double shield. The brawl from Airstrike is going to have no problem dropping directly on top of them from this high ground. It's just a matter of when at this point.
Very interesting. Normac is actually going to be the one on Sigma instead of Bray. Bray's going to be on the Orisa. And instead of dropping for the additional brawl, they're going to come around here. So this fight could decide at Cryptic Force. Is he going to have the space to go in here and just bully the tanks for Kalibur?
Bray gets a little aggressive, does find a hole to try and peel walled off our Cryptic Force and Void Kit, but they're feeling perfectly. Pyro takes down Void Kit, a lot of that damage negated now, but Cryptic Force still in the front line, still taking a lot of damage though. One more pick found, and it could be it for Kalibur, applying so much pressure. A perfect wall though from J-Vice sets the tone perfectly.
Absolutely, J-Vice and Mini Creeper coming back here with a vengeance. They know that the last round didn't go too well for them against the DPS of Airstrike, and now they are playing angry. They've got their own gamer fuel. They are absolutely playing for a win here. They cannot afford to be slowed down even for a second on this push.
Kalibur looking to push to second point. They've got a nice time bank to do it. All 6 members of Airstrike, though, set up wisely on the high ground. And Kalibur aren't really doing the same level of contesting for it. But, oh no! Sheepy, I think, was pulled down onto the low ground there. That's going to shut down a lot of the healing. Void Kit taken very low as well. Actually, Sheepy just enough time to make his way all the way back. Panda Game's going to be assisting in that. They throw the taxi over to make sure nothing bad happens. What on earth are you doing over here, Normac? You are in for a world of hurt. Immediately taken off of that high ground. Now Airstrike waiting for the right opportunity to drop down. Panda Game's getting aggressive. Well, isn't going to get walled off quite yet. Void Kit, though. Oh, Bray is cut off in no man's land. A beautiful wall from Panda Games. Forces him out of position. Forces out the Fortify as well. This fight clearly going the way of Airstrike. So many resources committed from Kalibur, but no ground gain for them. Good wall onto Cryptic Force. Catches him away from the supports. He's being squashed between a rock and a hard place. Pyro up, walled off. Taking down. Great. Panda Games is going to capitalize.
Oh, an absolutely fantastic Blizzard there. It cuts off exactly who is necessary, and that is more than enough for Airstrike to pull this back around, but still 4 minutes on the clock for Kalibur. And Airstrike, though, they're even in the alt build, but Baba Yaga and Bray are both going to have the alts coming online here, and Bray has actually looked very strong on this Orisa pushing into this. He's looked so good in the off tanks, and now he's putting his carry pants on the main tanks. What is he going to be able to do? Can he pull them off the map? Oh, it's all pretty good diagram.
The big flex from Voidkid again finds Mini. Now no Deadeye, no flashbang to stop Cryptic Force from what he wants to do the most here. However, Blizzard will put him right in his track. Should be him going down in a fight. One for Kalibur, an effective Blizzard, and a good one from J-Vice. The ultimate advantage still going the way of Kalibur here. And with 3 minutes remaining on the clock, Airstrike have got to find a way to burn some of that off.
Absolutely, and Cryptic got a 5-man shatter, but Pyro had a perfect immortality field during that fight to keep his team up. Absolutely fantastic play for him, and he's already coming up on another amplification matrix. And Prey and Mini Creeper are going to be able to combo here, I think, to just fully win this fight for their team.
3 minutes on the clock. We've seen Airstrike pull fights out of nowhere time and time again. Early pick on a Panda Games, though, does not speak well. Bomb over. Can Cactus do it again? No. Cannot quite connect. Cryptic Force dropped down to half HP. Great nade, though, and J-Vice out of the fight as well. No maze to keep Reinhardt's in check right now, but there's only one on the field. Cryptic Force looking to move forward, looking to move past with the Amplification Matrix. Mini fights too! Placebo and Sheepy, both the sports out of the fight. Cryptic Force will fall following that. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, bumped all the way up to 4 for the final point for Kalibur.
Kalibur are back with a vengeance going on to this final point here, and Pyro, he just looks so good coming in here, working together in that backline with El Baba Yaga to keep their team alive. And the Bray and Normac combo, it doesn't matter who's on what team, who's on what tank, they both just look so confident together, and they are working to just push right through this brawl comp.
All right, we need to see Airstrike turn this ultimate game around. This singular Blizzard needs to win the entire fight for them if they want to win. But the Gravitic Flux up, comboed with the High Noon. Sleep, no! Stops the Flux from going through the wall as well, so Sheepy will fall. But there's plenty of ultimates, and Blizzard connects onto everybody here. Cryptic Force down in the back line, but Mini comes up big. Another kill down on a Panda Games. Is the damage there? Voidkid nearly taken down. Flashes out, defeats Mini in the 1v1. Cryptic Force comes back to Beal for his team, stops feeding for just long enough to defend his back line.
Absolutely incredible there from Cryptic Force in the back line. Against two! We'll see what manages to take them out, but Pyro trying to swing this fight single-handedly, and J-Vice is making their way up to a Blizzard. If they can just build that Blizzard, and if they use it effectively, it's all they need to finish up point C of Dorado and take us to extra time.
All right, Sheepy's got a Nano, Placebo's got a Sound Barrier. What do they need to use it for? El Baba Yaga can actually sustain this fight beautifully on the Brigitte, using that rally. J-Vice getting aggressive, misses the wall. Now Cactus set up beautifully. Sheepy waiting for the right time. You have to stop Cryptic from the feed right now. If there was ever a time for a perfectly timed Nano, it is here. Drops so low, has to use it, charge in. Cryptic gets in, not gonna be caught out by the Blizzard stuns, but kept alive by the Sound Barrier as well. Everything put on the man. He's been given all the resources to do it, but he can't find a kill. Now J-Vice stuck in the back line. He's gonna get punished out on the main. Cryptic Force goes down. Cryptic flicks it from Cactus. No invulnerability field to keep him alive. All that damage is permanent, and the damage is there to follow up. Voidkid, Cactus, Placebo. All the damage multiplied now, and they're gonna hold on to this point for another minute.
Absolutely, and Pyro just trying not to get staggered out. Does manage to take down Voidkid, but that was such a huge nano beat combo. Cryptic decided that he was going to hit the shift button there. He wasn't going to get frozen, and he just stayed alive in the enemy backline in a 1-on-3 for so long because of that support heal for him. So much healing as he tries to int there, really tries to live up to the feed, and now this next minute and a half could decide our winner here. If we don't, then we will be seeing extra rounds. This will be the last map, though. Regardless, no one can draw here. They are going to engage with Voidkid's Deadeye.
Oh, it just barely doesn't connect now. Airstrike have to move in. They've perfectly defended this choke point. Cryptic Force a single shatter to end it. Panda Games has the Blizzard as well to shut this entire thing down. Can Bray find that he needs? Pardon me, it's Normac now. No, the Blizzard connects onto everybody. The freeze is massive. What a wall, though, in the way Panda Games fighting the connections. Mini down. Baba Yaga gone. 1 minute left on the clock. Cryptic Force, he's on a wild flank, and he's getting value out of it. J-Vice takes down Sleepy, but that doesn't matter at all. Bray has a bongo, and that's it. Cryptic Force has a shatter. Sleepy has a nano. They've got all the tools they need. Can Airstrike end it?
Pyro is going to have an amplification matrix, and they're going to swap onto the Rhino Arista. That's looked so good for them so far here. Panda Games with a huge play there, and this is going to decide if this will be the last fight. Are we going to extra time? Are Airstrike going to bring it back? Do Kalibur have the level of play necessary, or are they going to come up short here? The wall to start it off, and now the engagement is going to come in. Panda Games with the counter wall.
Cryptic Force with an ever-looming shadow here. Could be big. Bongo and a Matrix. Both going to be completely denied. Airstrike back up. But Void Kid taken down. Headshot from Mini is massive here. Now it needs to be a big frame play from back to Shatter. And it connects and Void Kid filling it out. And Anti-Nate lands onto two Panda Games. Placebo the follow-up.
Big down. Airstrike to take down J-Vice.
On the clock here. Damage to Cryptic Force swinging like a goddamn madman. On top of this Placebo. Jumps the beat to make sure it happens. Overtime ticking down. Airstrike have done it. Clawed back from the jaws of defeat. Kalibur beat him. The team play not enough to overcome the sheer heart of Airstrike.
Absolutely incredible game for Airstrike there. They really brought this back around. They looked so questionable coming into some of these last maps, and they just absolutely blew our expectations out of the water. Airstrike are going to be your Season 4 Discord tier champions, taking down Kalibur in a map 7. Just absolutely fantastic gameplay from both teams here, and just such a fantastic match overall. It has been just a pleasure to watch.
Bart, I'm shaking. Oh my god. All the blood's rushed to my head. I can't stop yelling, but what a game. Kalibur and Airstrike go the distance. 3-1. It looked like Airstrike were completely out of it after their pocket pick of Horizon Lunar Colony got taken out. And then all of a sudden, map pick after map pick. It didn't matter that Kalibur had the choice. Airstrike had the balls to back it up. And led by Cryptic Force and that amazing tank line, the supports were keeping them alive for so long. So many perfectly placed walls and blizzards. So many perfectly used ultimates and fights fought from behind to bring games back. Airstrike, it's been a long ass night, but you've earned it.
Absolutely. I don't think there's a single person on Airstrike who underperformed. Kalibur looked so good. Bray played a fantastic game. J-Vice had so many carry moments, and Mini Creeper went blow for blow with Void Kit on so many of these maps. But it just comes down to the pop-off potential of Airstrike. Cactus and Cryptic Force played so well together on those last few maps on the tank. Panda Games on May looked utterly unstoppable, and there was just nothing that could be done to shut down Void Kit or Sheepy on that last map. Sheepy's antis, the nanos onto Cryptic feed, Cryptic champion out there, and Placebo. The beats were always there when they were necessary. There was just no one on the side of Airstrike who let the team down, and that is why they are your Season 4 champions.
And Kalibur, you have been one of the most impressive Discord tier teams we have ever seen. The coordination was absolutely amazing. J-Vice's Hanzo was ridiculously good. Mini went toe-to-toe constantly with Void Kit every single time, playing him dead even until the very last map. The tank play from Normac and Bray as well, absolutely beautiful. And Bray and Cryptic Force, I know they're friends. I know there's no hard feelings here, but unfortunately, one of you is going to have to wait another season, because that was a battle for the ages. And my God, if that doesn't go down in Trank history.
Absolutely. I think one of, hands down, the greatest finals that Trank has ever seen. Just so back and forth. It had everything. It had suspense. It had drama. It had anything you were looking for in a game of Overwatch. I don't think either of those teams should feel upset about that. They played out of their minds, and everyone just looked so solid and so strong, and it really just came down to just that little bit of that it factor, that pop-off potential playing in the clutch there. And honestly, I don't think I could pick an MVP for this game. Everyone just looked so good, and that was exactly what I needed to stay hyped going in to a season break.
And as much as there may be a season break, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the Discord tier finalists. Congratulations to the winners. There's All-Star games.
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't want to miss them. MVPs left and right. The best of the best that Tranquility has to offer, and that's going to be going on next week. I promise you guys, you won't want to miss them as well. I'm pretty sure there's probably some preseason, off-season shenanigans. Keep an eye on the Discord. I'm sorry, producer's saying something. Let me listen real quick. And
we are also going to see one last Iris podcast on Monday. It's going to be at 8:30 EST on this channel. We're going to be breaking down this match. We're going to be breaking down the Transcendence Finals. We're going to be hyping up the All-Star Game. And if you liked seeing some of these guys play, they will be playing in the All-Star Game next week. You can come see them again. See how hard they can pop off. I don't think any of these guys are going to feel at all upset going into this All-Star Game. But this is coming down to the time when we need to end this stream, sadly. I have been Bard. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at OWBard. We have had a producer, a fantastic, wonderful producer, has been Juke for us tonight. You can find him on Twitter at JukeCasts, I believe, and I have also been joined by the wonderful Door. Please bring us out of here, Door.
Real quick, yeah, man, I want to say massive thanks to the entire Tranquility production team this season. I mean, everyone's done an amazing job. All the matches have been incredible in playoffs, so many hype games, and I'm so proud to say that I'm part of this team. Bart, you've done a fantastic job tonight. Juke's been around. Booth, the new production manager here, everybody needs to show their appreciation for him, because this season would not have been as much of a success as it was without the help of everybody involved, as well as you guys for watching. Thank you so much. We'll catch you guys next week for the All-Star Games. Don't forget to stay tuned, and the games will remain just as good.
this is some mistake, then so be it. If this is some mistake, then so be it. If this is some mistake, then so be it. There's no point to avoid it, to control it. Bad or good, I'm right there. You've got to know it. If this is some mistake, then so be it. If this is some mistake, then so be it. If this is some mistake, then so be it. If this is some mistake, if this is some mistake. I don't mind making them move. Yeah, I don't mind making them move. I don't mind making them move. I don't mind making them move. Baby's truly blue, and I lay awake worrying about you. Always gone too soon. Why do you think that I'm writing about you? But it's too